All right, good morning and welcome to the second annual Ford Innovation Showcase. My name is Sue Taylor and I am the Supervisor of Work Integrated Learning, Career Services and the Genesis Entrepreneurship Center here at St. Clair College. I am honored to be the event coordinator and your moderator today for this very exciting day, bringing our students and industry partners together. So this event brings these students and executives together in a very unique way. We're bringing in our community leaders. It's allowing them a chance to showcase their skills and their expertise for you. It also brings us together for mentorship opportunities. So we're going to be doing some speed mentoring later on, which is going to actually occur outside in the food court area. But we're basically looking at bringing them together. We have industry partners that are looking to recruit new talent, and we have students that are looking for jobs. And we want our students at St. Clair College to be your top of mind thought when you're posting job opportunities and bringing them in for different placements. So our career services team is on hand to help you. They actually have been out at the front at check-in, and those are the people that we're going to have you talk to when we're looking at co-op placements, when you're looking at having job shadowing or job placements within your industry. And then also we have a Career Central portal where you can post jobs for our students. So we can share that information with you. You will get that after the event today. So before we get things started, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank a few people for this event to come to fruition. So first off, I'd like to start by thanking Ralph Nicoletti. I don't know where you are, Ralph, raise your hand. And Sandy Ilievsky from Ford Motor Company, she's one of our judges today. They were the initial catalysts of this event, and together decided that this would be something that we should try to have our students showcasing those projects. So Sandy and Ralph and the amazing Elizabeth Burney, who is sitting at the judges table there of Ford Motor Company, they have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring this together for us as the committee. So bringing everybody together today. So I would also like to give special thanks to our behind the scenes team, so Mike Poirier, Sean Poirier, and Kayla Tarnowski, who are running our cameras today. So we have people watching from home via our live stream. We will also have this recording available after the event as well. I would like to make note of Crystal Ben, who's from our Student Representative Council facilities team. So she arranged everything as far as utilizing the venue and taking care of all the setup details. We'd also like to thank Tim Hortons for supplying our refreshments and snacks this morning. We have Capri Pizza catering our lunch, and then we have the St. Clair Center of the Arts catering for our networking session later on. So they will be rotating throughout the day, so help yourselves. There are refreshments also behind the counter there as well that you can access. I would also like to thank my career services team, Brittany Quinn Gerasimov, Karen Taylor, Erica Knight, and Reagan Newry. Again, they have been helping out at check-in and have helped prepare all the name tags and all the little details that are required to make an event come together. I would like to thank our sponsors. So our platinum sponsor, AIS Technologies Group, St. Clair College Alumni Association, our gold sponsor, the Stephanie and Barry Zuckelman Foundation, who are providing lunch for us today, sponsoring lunch. We have sponsors, bronze sponsors, Enwin and Air Canada. A special thank you also to our event partners, Ford Motor Company, once again bringing their fantastic team to this and taking part and spending their day with us as judges and mentors. I'd like to take a moment to showcase the impressive collection of community and industry representatives that we have here today. As I call it your company, if you could just raise your hand quickly, just so our attendees know who you are and where you are, we'd appreciate that. So all of our Ford Motor Company group, if you could each raise a hand, we've got several throughout the room here. Thank you. AIS Technologies Group, got a couple. Enwin Utilities. DataRealm, Laser Transport, there he is up there, Durobite, St. Clair College Alumni Association, we have Reko International Group, Parent and Associates Consultants, we have Wave Direct, Invest Windsor Essex, Thanks, Ed. Windsor Port Authority, also up top, and UpCare, also joining us. So thank you, everyone. And also, too, for our staff for coming out today to support our students. As I'm sure you've noticed, each group is wearing a different colored lanyard. Student competitors are in red. You notice our judges are in dark green, our staff is in black, and any of our industry or invited guests are in mint green. So we've done this so that there's several networking portions that are going to be happening today, and it makes it easy eyesight for our students to recognize who are part of our industry and to make a point to connect with each of them. And the same with our industry, looking for our students with their red lanyards. At this time, I would like to introduce Michael Silvaggi. He is Vice President of Academic and Registrar to kick off the Ford Showcase with a few opening remarks on behalf of St. Clair College.
Thank you, Sue, and good morning, everyone. On behalf of the college's administration and the entire St. Clair family of faculty and staff, it is a pleasure to be with you today and to have the school acting as the sponsor of the Ford Innovation Showcase. Of course, our partners are essential to the organization and development of this amazing event. I am pleased that St. Clair College is able to collaborate with the Alumni Association, the Stephanie and Barry Zekelman Foundation, Air Canada, AIS Technologies, Enwin, and of course, Ford Motor Company of Canada. I have an interesting story that I'd like to share. I was recently introduced to a researcher for a local history archive in Amherstburg. A few weeks ago, as I'm scrolling through Facebook, a feature was posted of old photos of a large bakery which had operated in the town from the early to the middle decades of the last century. Included in the caption was a memory of that bakery. So here it is. In the late 1920s, the bakery introduced a revolutionary new product to the local market. Loaves of bread, which had been pre-sliced in a factory. I'm going somewhere with this. I know we barely give it a thought nowadays, but that was a welcome and amazing advancement a little less than 100 years ago. Our region is overflowing with examples that were created in our community. It's in our DNA. This sliced bread from the factory brought about the removal of messy crumbs on the table, or worse, on the floor. No more squished bread if you had a dull knife at home. No more concerns or worries of having your children cut their fingers, or at least the fear of, as they were preparing their own sandwiches for school. It also created the common expression that is used today to describe all the marvelous inventions that have followed, that a new product or technological method is the best thing since sliced bread. Why did I share this story? Because this is what we are showcasing today. Whether our ingenious students have fine-tuned an existing product or device, or tweaked a standard process, or invented something brand new, we're excited to see St. Clair College's 2022 versions of the best thing since sliced bread. Congratulations to all of today's presenters for making it to this final stage of the showcase. And to our fellow sponsors, the college and our students deeply appreciate your support and participation in this important event. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mike, for your welcoming remarks. I would now like to introduce you to Sandy Ilievsky, who is the Global Powertrain Prototype Manager for Ford Motor Company and the driving force behind this event.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome again, everybody. Hold on, I'm a little too tall for this. Well, it's going to have to do. Welcome again, everyone, to our second annual Ford Innovation Showcase here at St. Clair College. What an honor it is for the Ford team to be part of this event the second year in a row. My name is Sandy Ilievsky. I am the Global Prototype Manager for Ford Motor Company. My organization is located in Southeast Michigan, and we are responsible for providing all the powertrain prototypes to all of the vehicle prototypes globally. I also spent almost 2 decades here locally at the Ford Windsor site operations. I was born and raised in Windsor, and 2 of my children are enrolled currently at this college. So it's these type of events that hit near and dear to my heart. We have an exciting day for all of you. It'll be full of presentations by the students. There will be speakers. We do have a speed mentoring event, so please take the opportunity to get to know these mentors. And at the end of the day, today we have a networking event. Last year when we did this event, and it was virtual last year, I was asked after the event, do you think it was a success? And I remember hearing the question, and I was about to just say, yes, of course. But before I answered, I am trained by Ford Motor Company to think, how would I define success? Well, what does it mean? Can I just say yes without actually understanding what the definition would be? And I actually wrote out 3 things, and I found that piece of paper, and I thought it would be perfect to actually reflect on that today. I wrote, did we showcase our St. Clair College students and their capabilities? Question 1. Did we introduce our graduating students to industry leaders who are looking for future employees? And did we give the students the opportunity to not only show their technical skills, but to also learn the importance of being able to sell their idea? Because there is an aspect to that. It's one thing to be a genius and have a wonderful idea, but if you can't sell it, how good is that idea? And develop presentation skills. So to answer all of the above, absolutely. We did that and more. There were some students last year that even landed some great jobs after the event. This is why we do events like this. This is for, this is for the students. This is for our community. A few years ago, this event today was just a simple idea. And I remember that day, I talked about it this morning. I remember it clearly. It was myself and Mr. Ralph Nicoletti. And we sat there with a piece of paper, a small sticky note. And I remember sitting across from him and I brainstorming ideas. What could something like this look like? What could become of this? Could this help our students? We couldn't have done this today without the team you see here today, and a special thanks to you, Susan. Thank you for all your hard work. I thought about, last night, I thought, what type of message do I want to leave the students with? I am a mentor. I mentor a lot of young men and women, both at the college, at work, high school level, but I thought there needs to be a message that they take away today. They're just about to embark on an exciting journey. It's the beginning of their careers. And I thought, what, if anything, would I have wished someone had said to me as I was graduating from the University of Windsor Electrical Engineering program? So I start with a quote. It's a quote from Henry Ford. For those of you who know me personally, you know I say this all the time. I say it both at work and I say it at home. If you think you can, or you think you can't, you are right. It is that simple. Students, if anything from today you choose to take with you, I hope it's this message. I personally spent too many years doubting myself, my abilities, and quite frankly, holding myself back. I had a breakthrough moment, which at that time was probably about 10 years into my career. And I was mentoring some young men and women. And I had this aha moment. I realized that those that believed they could succeed did. I remember it clearly. And it was a distinct difference. Those that didn't. And it was that moment that I considered that reverse mentoring for myself, Those students probably and those employees probably didn't even realize that. And I stopped doubting myself. I just did. I said, why can't I? I mean, I was a fantastic student. I've accomplished a ton of things. What is wrong with me? I started believing I could. And then I started mentoring with this theme. So anyone that becomes a mentor of mine today knows the theme. That is the theme. I am in this position that I am today, running a global organization, because I believed in myself. You students, you are all here today because you believed you could succeed. And you did. You are all finalists. Congratulations. What a fantastic achievement. You know, when there's competitions, a lot of times we focus on first place, second place, third place. I get it. Amazing. But you are already all winners. You've succeeded. So in my book, it's a win already. I actually wrote down something that I wanted to make sure I mentioned tonight at the networking portion. This today, I doubt there will be anybody here out of the students that will not be talking about this at some future job interview. There's no reason not to. This is an achievement. So I leave you with this. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else? Believe you can, and you will be unstoppable. And as a side note, for those that know me well, Unstoppable, that song by Sia, is something I play all the time. I don't even think it's weird anymore. Nobody thinks it's weird. Even if you come to my office, I'm about to go present. We have our vice president coming for a tour. I play Unstoppable. It's now become a theme. So that's why I had to use the word. So good luck today. I look forward to chatting with you later. I look forward to the speed mentoring. Enjoy that. And then at the networking event. But before we go, I just want to make sure I turn it over and thank Miss Elizabeth Burney. Miss Elizabeth Burney was actually one of my mentors for years, and mentees, and still is a mentee of mine. She is also my Women of Ford STEM co-chair on our subcommittee. So thank you, Elizabeth. I hand this over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So as Sandy said, my name is Elizabeth Burney. Thank you so much for allowing Ford to have the opportunity to be here at St. Clair College. We're super excited about today's event. I can give you a little introduction about myself. At Ford, I've been in the Windsor site for about 4 years. Currently, right now, I'm the lead engineer for Godzilla Machining at Windsor Engine Plant. Somewhat new to my current role, so I have a lot of learning and whatnot every single day. And my topic today kind of coincides with that, work-life balance. As many of us here are familiar, in school and in our careers, work-life balance is something that I myself struggle to work at every single day, but it's something that we need to emphasize and prioritize. So I thought today that I would start with the definition. So the definition of work-life balance, what is it? A state of equilibrium where a person equally prioritizes the demands of one's career and one's personal life. Doesn't that sound simple? Generally speaking, work-life balance, we think of it to be an 8-to-5 job, and then weekends are for family. Well, in manufacturing and many different careers, that's just not the case. So what I'd like to give for my own recommendations is make prioritization and set boundaries. Specifically with work and life. Work, I like to set boundaries in terms of projects, goals, and deadlines. And for life, I like to recognize holidays. I like to recognize family birthdays, and I like to recognize personal time, whether that be for sports. In addition to work-life balance, I also want to talk about my last 4 years at Ford and what has helped me become successful in terms of my most recent promotion. So specifically at Ford and every other career, whether it be in engineering or whether it be in design or whatnot, I'd like to recommend that you don't be afraid to take chances. Me starting at Ford Motor Company actually was one of the biggest chances that I had taken in my life. I had been hired directly at a university for a small company as a design engineer. I had a comfortable pension and benefits, and just 1 week later I was given the opportunity for a 1-year contract at Ford Motor Company. I thought, without a doubt, I took this risk because I thought nothing good in life comes without hard work, and no great reward comes without a little bit of risk. This, by far, has been the best decision that I've made so far in my lifetime. I'd also like to recommend that you apply for the hard jobs. My current job in my most recent promotion was a job that many people didn't want to apply for. It involves a lot of detail, it involves a lot of parts, dimensions, and a lot of processing that is not super straightforward. But again, I applied for the hard job, I took the chance, and here we are today. Also, I'd like to suggest that every single day, whether or not you're graduating this year or next year, that you continue to educate yourself. A lot of people thought I was crazy throughout my 10-year, course in university. I graduated multiple times, but I was never finished. I always wanted to keep learning. It wasn't until I received my last degree that I realized that learning doesn't stop when you graduate from school. Learning continues throughout every single day in your career. And I've never regretted one, whether it be a certificate, a diploma, or a degree. They all will benefit you in the long run. So hard work really does, carry with you. I'd like to emphasize on something that we focus on at Ford Motor Company, and it's really helped me throughout my career. It's communication. Being able to communicate your thoughts and your purpose respectfully and effectively is one of the greatest challenges, but it's also one of the greatest things that has helped me where I am today. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the idea of teamwork. So many students here, and also in some of the teams that have applied for today, teamwork can be very challenging. We've all struggled with, whether it be a leadership role or a role where, you may not agree with the aspect or the opinions of the team. However, I can tell you that there is not one project or, one assignment at Ford Motor Company that we've done alone. At Ford Motor Company, we really do work as a team, and we incorporate all aspects of our team to make sure that we succeed together. So something I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I think it carries to our community as well. At Ford, we recognize 4 Ford Plus behaviors, and that's really what we govern each other by. So at Ford, we focus on modernizing ourselves, taking technology and using data to make our day-to-day decisions. I find that really helps us, keep up with the up and up, understand and recognize where technology can help and improve your process. Another Ford behavior is disrupt. So don't be afraid to disrupt, when you go into a new scenario, whether that be at work or in a community, whether you're volunteering or whatnot. Sometimes people get comfortable. Don't be afraid to disrupt respectfully and recognize opportunity for improvement. Also, we recognize caring for each other. At Ford Motor Company, there are many different scenarios where, some of our jobs are very stressful, whether that be a breakdown in manufacturing or, a change in the assembly line. There are many situations that, we have to care for each other and recognize when one person needs help, be that person to lend a helping hand, because they will always be there to help you in return. And lastly, for the behaviors, I'd recommend that you follow this one. It's compete like a challenger. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself every single day. Every opportunity that you have to make yourself better, you should constantly be improving yourself, and whether that be personally or professionally, I'd recommend you always compete like a challenger. So in terms of work-life balance, I'd like to focus a little bit on life as well. In terms of life can get really, really busy, and it's hard to keep up with the riffraff sometimes. However, I'd like to remind you that, each and every one of us has vacation time, and whether that be, a weekend or whether that be 5 weeks of vacation, always plan that vacation and always take that vacation. Make time for yourself. Also, make time for your family. Some of us have, hard days at work or long, early mornings and late nights, but your family is always there at the end of the day. So sometimes it's easy to go home and, vent to your family and whatnot, but through personal experience, I find it's best to, I have a long drive home from work, so I have a little bit of an opportunity to, clear my head and whatnot, but recognize that your family is always there, and they're there to support you and to love you. Also, I think that it's super important that, as young adults, we often have sports and activities that we're involved in, but as life gets busier and busier, sometimes we forget that we like to do sports and be active. So I'd highly recommend that you incorporate some activity, if not a sport, into your lifestyle as you graduate, because sometimes it's nice to have that, those endorphins running, and they kind of give you a reset and a refresh. Also, most importantly, is your health. there is no such thing as an unhealthy, successful professional. I do believe that in order to be successful at work, you have to be well rested, well fed, and ready to work and ambitious. So I think that's super important. Specifically, if you're in a very demanding, location or job, whatnot, you should always balance your overtime with your rest. So if you're working a really long day today, try and focus tomorrow on yourself and give yourself that ability to refresh. And I think most importantly, it's important to love yourself and maintain your personal happiness. And whatever makes you happy, you should do that every single day. And that's the way to success. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Diane Kellett. She's our area manager for Windsor Engine Plant, Ford Motor Company.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today. This is my first opportunity to participate in this event. Again, my name is Diane Kellett. I'm currently the area manager at Windsor Engine Plant. We assemble the 7.3-liter Godzilla engine, soon to be adding a 6.8-liter, and we have various machining centers that machine parts for those engines as well as engines at other assembly plants. I'll admit, when I was asked to talk today, the topic I found a little bit daunting. It was, what's your biggest failure? When I thought about it, I'm coming up to 30 years with Ford Motor Company, so I didn't have a problem coming up with a lot of potential things to talk about. So I hope I can impart some tips that will help you all as you begin your journey. I decided to talk about my lack of knowledge and appreciation for the power of networking, which basically translated to minimal networking activity for a good portion of my career. And I see that you're all going to have an opportunity to network this afternoon, so I think that's fantastic that the school is giving you that opportunity to practice. So I think the best way to explain how I feel that was a failure early on is to explain why I consider it's such an important thing to do. So my definition of networking is socializing with a goal. It's an opportunity to meet new people, build relationships, learn from each other, help each other, and all of which translates into your own personal and professional growth, because make no mistake, both of them are linked together. So some of the benefits you'll experience by networking are getting connected with people through other people that you may never have had the opportunity to meet. You get a wide range of perspectives on a variety of issues. Some are going to resonate more with you than others, and that's okay. So building relationships opens doors. So how many of you could relate to having a task and you don't know how to do it? Outside of your first thought being going to YouTube, I think a lot of us, the next thing you do is you start going through your mental list of people you know and think about what they know and who would be the best person to contact to maybe talk about it and learn something or guide you through it. And it works the same way in the workplace. So as you're building relationships, people are getting to know you, you're getting to know other people. So when those opportunities come up and you've built these relationships, there's a better chance that someone's going to think of you for a job opportunity. And it'll work vice versa. It'll be the same for you. So think about your comfort level. Are you more comfortable going to someone that you have a relationship with to ask a question or maybe talk about a struggle that you're having? Are you more comfortable with going to talk to somebody that you know and you have that relationship, or a complete stranger? So it really makes sense. So those kinds of interactions will help you find mentors in all different areas that you may be looking for guidance. You'll notice that as you meet new people, you're going to recognize that different people have different strengths, and so you're going to have some options depending on the topic that you want to talk about. And lastly, as you build your relationships, you're going to recognize and start to understand better your own strengths and your own opportunities. You're going to continue to learn and grow, and that gives you an opportunity to help others. So networking isn't just about getting help, it's also about giving help. And in my mind, that's one of the most important pieces. So sometimes there's obstacles. Lack of time, a lot of times ends up being one of those. So my first bit of knowledge says don't stress about it. The last thing any of us need is to add more stress to our lives. Give yourself a break and make a commitment to yourself. Give yourself permission to start small. Nobody has to come out and try to be a professional networker and spend 10 or more hours a week learning how and how you get good. Don't try so utilize your time outside. I call it doing double duty. So maybe you have a social event coming up. There's going to be people there, chances are, that you may not know. So use that opportunity to practice. You'd be surprised at just starting a conversation how many workplace themes may be the same, even if you're in different fields. A lot of it comes, you'll find a lot of commonalities. Maybe you're shy, or maybe you're tend to be leaning towards being an introvert. That's okay. If you need a little bit of courage, talk to somebody you're comfortable with. Talk to somebody in your family. Talk to a close friend, someone you trust, and start bouncing ideas around with them with ways to approach it. And you never know, you might find your first mentor right there on your front porch. And lastly, I would suggest do a little bit of research. That always helps me get more comfortable. There's YouTube coming in. Get ideas about how to prepare. Make a list of questions that you can use as icebreakers. And honestly, the more you practice, the more comfortable you're going to be. Good luck this afternoon. And I hope some of these tips might help you with the event this afternoon. And I'll be around all day, so if any of you want to discuss it, I'll be here. So thanks again.
All right, thank you, Sandy, Beth, and Diane, for your inspiring words of wisdom. All right, so this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Students, get ready. We are going to be watching 5 presentations, each consisting of a 5-minute presentation followed by 3 to 4 minutes of live Q&A from our judges. So we're going to put our students on the spot here and have them answer some questions. Then we'll take a short break and we will see the final 5 teams. So just to go through, to introduce you to our judges panel. So on your right, my left, we have John Feldman, who is the president of St. Clair College Board of Governors. Then we have Beth Burney, who is Windsor Engine Plant Annex Lead Engineer for Ford Motor Company. We have Sandy Ilievsky, who is Global Powertrain Prototype Manager. I love that I can say that now after saying it so often, from Ford Motor Company. Then we have Nick Dimitrov, who is the Vice President of AIS Technologies Group. Then we have Nina Haggins, who is Windsor Engine Plant Building Services with Ford Motor Company. We have Barry Levitt, who is Director of Corporate Operations and Innovations with Enwin Utilities. And then finally, on your far left, we have Emilio Ferrelli, who is Essex Engine Plant Area Manager for Ford Motor Company. So each project will be judged based on the following 3 categories. So the first area is content, which includes innovation and technological content. Then they will look at delivery. So we're looking at both the oral and PowerPoint presentation that the students are going to be presenting. And then finally, judges will be looking at the people. So they are going to be evaluating the leadership part of the projects and their that soft skill of presentation. So on that note, I'm going to call up our first team who are ready. Part of their presentation is going to actually be done. They're going to be standing more on the floor. It's because they have something to do to show you out front here. So this one is the autonomous guided vehicle using a UR robotic arm. If any of you need, we have programs, so if you want to put your hand up if you need a program, one of our, Brittany will come around and bring one to you if you need it. But gentlemen, you can come up to the front and start your presentation. Governor, sorry. Sorry. My apologies. John, I gave you a promotion apparently. Alumni Association, not the Board of Governors. Sorry about that.
Whoa, I am excited instead of nervous. So, good morning all. My name is Yash Soni.
Hello everyone, I am Devul Patel. We are second year robotics students from St. Clair College, and we are also working as a student researchers with the college research and development team.
So, today we are going to present our research project, which is based on an proof of concept in which we are going to use an autonomous guided vehicle, in short AGV, with an robotic arm and the vision system mounted on it in order to perform a vision-based smart operation. So, highlights of our projects are an AGV named Boxer, and a robotic arm which name is UR10E, then a pair of radix cameras, a Picket 3D vision system, and the part tracking technology. So, our project is divided into 3 phases, in which we have already achieved the first two phases. In first phases, we have mastered the mapping feature of the AGV, and we have done electrical integration of the robotic arm and the AGV. In phase 2, we have done we have integrated a 3D vision system with a robotic arm in order to perform any operation. And in phase 3, we are going to integrate the path tracking technology with an AGV. So now here to my friend Devul.
So the primary objective of this project is to perform the vision-based operations with the help of a mobile platform. So that's why we are using an autonomous vehicle. So the AGV that we are using, it basically operates on the robot operating system, that is ROS. It is equipped with the cameras and a bunch of sensors like LiDAR, sonar, and odometry as well. It also has an inbuilt ARC computer through which we can do the mapping of a particular area. So this image shows the visualization of the ARC software where the mapping of a particular area is done. With the help of this software, we can create predefined routes through which we can command the AGV to navigate itself autonomously. The UR integration into the robot is done in such a way that it utilizes the power with the help of the batteries that is inbuilt, that are basically located inside the AGV. Now coming to the phase 2 of the project, we have integrated a 3D vision system with a robotic arm. The 3D vision system basically identifies the coordinates of an object that are located in the 3D space, and it will send the coordinates to the robot, through which a robot can later on program itself and through the task that we want to perform. So this is a basic setup of our vision system, and the blue markers which is shown over here, it basically shows the objects that are being currently scanned by the vision system. We will also demonstrate a simple pick and place system at the end of the presentation.
So now, vision, all operation will go fine as long as the robot and the Picket system remain calibrated. So, but sometimes it can be happen that robot can be altered or the vision system can be altered even a little bit. The whole operation can be malfunction. So here comes the part tracking technology in the picture. In this technology, the part tracking technology will send the coordinates of the vision system or the workstation constantly to the AGV. So AGV can correct itself by giving itself command to as a feedback loop. So in this technology, there are three main components. The first is pair of radix camera, then binary markers, and another is the part tracker software. So radix camera take the images of these binary markers which represent a specific number. For this instance, 5, 6, and 7. And part tracker, and these are transferred to the part tracker software. And in part tracker software, the coordinates of these markers are automatically calculated. So now what we will do, we will put those markers on the AGV and one on the workstation. So whenever those marker come in the radar of the radix cameras, it will calculate coordinates and it will start a constant feedback loop for the AGV, so it can correct itself. So this is how coordinates looks like. The one is on the left there is a setup in where the markers are placed, and on the right there is a part tracker software where you can see the coordinates calculated by the part tracking software. So in the case, even if there is inaccuracy for the AGV, with the part tracking software we can correct that and achieve our problem without malfunction of the operation.
I'm sorry, I think something malfunction. Power up. Damn.
Sorry, we forgot to arrange the object, so it can be.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we actually placed it wrong location. That's why.
That was actually a drop-off position, but we forgot to arrange the object in order to present. So now, just a minute.
So we have currently taught these three objects with the help of the vision cameras. We have taught the pickup and drop locations where the robot will automatically jog itself with the help of the 3D, with the help of the coordinates of the objects that it gets with the 3D vision cameras. It will pick the objects and it will put it at the drop location. Maybe due to some kind of error in calibration or lighting, it didn't pick that locate properly.
Third part come in. So that is where the third part come in. The part. So okay, now it's done properly. So it was maybe because of lighting, because when we trained the objects, the lighting were different.
So this is a very innovative concept where we have merged the three different segments of technologies in an exclusive way. This proof of concept can be applied in the industries like automobiles or aviation, where the different parts assembling can be handled. We can also use this concept in the warehouses as well, where we can utilize this project in material handling and storage, and we can even use this in the food industries to sort the vegetables and fruits. Thank you.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to give them a moment. They're going to move that out of the way. If we have our next group to come up, Bethany from Interact, please. Oh, sorry. Bethany's getting ready while we have questions. The microphone is there for you, Sandy, if you want to go ahead.
Is it on? Okay. Hello. Thank you. That was very interesting. I'm very familiar with AGVs. I was a control supervisor in a previous role. But I did have a question. If you could just, I have two, but I'm going to ask the question about how do you account for depth of pickup to accommodate fluctuations in different donnages as our parts come in? So how does this account for that?
So it is a 3D vision system through which it can locate a particular object in the 3D space. So when we train the particular object with the vision system, it shows the different points that has been scanned, and we taught the gripper to exactly pick that particular part by defining that points. So that is how the 3D vision system is basically defining the depth and all that things, and we can just train the robotic grippers to go through that particular points which is defined, and we can grab from over there.
Okay, because the question is, if we had worn dunnage at Ford Motor Company and it was sitting lower the part, would it accommodate for that?
Yeah, so you are basically asking like if you want to palletize an object on about.
Yeah, because our parts come in dunnage,
yeah.
And if one of them is sitting lower.
So yeah, so the Picket Vision system has a facility for that. Like we can train the objects first by keeping the parts on above it, and we can program accordingly. So it can be done as well.
And one more thing to add. There is a special feature in the UR robotic arm. It's called palletizing. So whenever you use that feature, it will automatically give you program to palletize. In that, all we have to do is train the object and give the proper coordinates. After that, it can palletize or depalletize automatically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
It was very interesting. I was wondering what your largest project challenge was and how did you approach solving it?
Okay, largest project challenge. Okay, so in phase 1 and phase 2, there were some logic we have to establish. For example, we were easily able to achieve the pick and place for one kind of object. But if you want to go for different kind of objects, it's quite hard. But we have some, but in our course, in the robotics course, there are some logics are taught. So by implying that logic in that, we have done that. And right now there is phase 3 going on, in which we are trying to establish TCP/IP communication between the part tracking technology and the AGV. But this is not our area. So we have to do lots of research, and sometimes we go to the wrong path, then we realize, and then we come back and start the research from the scratch. So right now we are still struggling for that particular TCP/IP communication. But I think as we are going in the upcoming months, we will be able to establish that as well. Thank you.
So it's basically a trial and error. We are doing everything from scratch. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So now we'll just give him a second just to move that out of the way. All right. Welcome Bethany from Project Interact.
Check 1, 2. There we go, there we go, there we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. So my project that I'm here to talk about is Interact. A little quick introduction for you today. My name is Bethany Delamonte. I just finished my second year of business marketing here at St. Clair. It's a great opportunity, and I'm part of a project under Enactus called Interact. Interact is a financial literacy project that aims to support the livelihood of post-secondary students. We started with international students, and now last year we expanded to domestic students as well. This project aims to support the livelihood as they pursue their studies and seek employment. And our main goal is to help the student body of St. Clair reach their short-term and long-term goals by investing ourselves in today's workforce. And how we did that, this year we impacted 8,863 students. This is a great number, something I never thought would happen. Thank you, thank you. I said at the start of the year, I said, if we can impact 5 students, that'll be it. That's amazing. I just want to help students, especially international students, because my parents are immigrants and they never had these resources. But this number, 8,863 students, is something so surreal to us. And this is how we impacted those students. So we worked directly with mobile app development students, as well as graphic design and international business management students. We had mock interviews and helped them build their resumes and gain experience for today's workforce for all of you guys. We also have a partnership with Thrives at St. Clair, and that is a first-year course offered to all first-year St. Clair College students. And this puts our resources onto a Blackboard page, more of like a course, for these students to use our resources, such as resume building, modules, and financial calculators. We also had some presentations going on, me and a few of my team members. We educated students on our resources. I will get more into that as well. And we have a new partnership with the Job Shop this year, and that is something that it's full circle for us, because we have the resume building and we have all of these other resources, and now we're placing our students into real jobs. So we have a website and mobile app. The website is launched. Mobile app is still kind of in the works, but our resources are employment, finance, housing. We have an agenda section of our website, and modules. For employment, under our employment icon, there are 2 options. You can either book a mock interview with us, or you can build a resume using one of our templates. For our finance options, you are directed to a page of our website that has financial calculators for students to use, and this is sponsored by Libro Credit Union. We've been a partner, we partnered with them for the last couple years, and we were very, very thankful for that. And all calculators are supported by them, and they are to use at the student's leisure. We also have a partnership with Century 21. And what this is, we have their housing matrix where students can go in and input their preferences and if they want a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, whatever they are looking for, they can go onto our website and look at the housing market, as well as book an appointment with Nick Monteleone, who we work directly with. Modules in the agenda section of our website are very straightforward. We have some modules or short videos of a variety of different topics, such as professionalism, business etiquette, etc. And we've also expanded these modules for more professional platforms, such as LinkedIn. And again, the agenda is a calendar on the website that can also be linked to your phone to insert appointments and important dates to keep all of our students organized. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, what challenges did you go through developing all these relationships with these businesses that have helped you to develop your project?
I would say the challenge this year was being a second-year student, but only 1 year in person. So I didn't have any resources. I didn't know anyone coming to the school and being part of this project. And so the challenge of meeting new people and kind of getting out of my comfort zone a little bit to engage and connect with all of these industry professionals was something that was a little bit challenging due to COVID, but ultimately very rewarding in the end.
Good morning. Thank you for that, and for the impact you're having with your colleagues. I was wondering, you came to understand what your target audience needed. What approach did you take?
Saying for the target audience, the biggest population here at St. Clair are international students, and I was very, this sort of hit home for me. Just like I said, my parents are immigrants, and so our target market aimed to help these international students, especially first year and second year when they are still living in other countries. We would have mock interviews via online, just on Teams and such like that, but we really targeted our target audience by seeing what our community is lacking. And as I am an employer myself, so I'm sort of kind of on the employer side as well as a student. So trying to see where in the middle is that gray area is what we really targeted. And we found that our target audience was first year and second year students.
Thank you again for your presentation. Excellent.
Thank you.
What's the plan for this project in the future? Do you have any plans?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Do you have any plans for the future of this project?
Yeah, so our next goal was to launch our mobile app, just to make it more accessible for students to use their financial calculators and to really stay organized and on top of all of their short-term and long-term goals.
Thank you. I just have a quick question about the future of this project after your graduation.
Yes.
Is there any plans on continuing this with the student council or the body in any way?
Yeah, so what Enactus is a student-based club, and so we have anywhere from first-year students to third year to alumni helping out. I will stay on as much as I can. Yes. But going forward, there will be a new project manager for next year, as well as the year after that. I was fortunate to be project manager in my second year here at St. Clair. But this project is huge. It's something that's a great responsibility. So I feel as though that second year and third year students would mostly benefit from being project manager. But again, there's always new students coming into our club, so that will be the future for them.
All right, thank you, Bethany. We're going to call up group number 3, who are going to present on security detection in VANET. And we have Christy and Mercy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christy Joseph, and my teammate is Mercy. We are both graduating from the St. Clair College under the Data Analytics Department. So today, what we are going to present is misbehavior detection in VANET. So for the agenda, we'll be going to start with the introduction and the problem statement, and we'll be ending with the conclusion and the references as well. So, road accidents are the road accidents are increasing day by day, and one of the main cause of deaths are becoming the road accidents. So, some of the statistics have shown that 60% of these road accidents could have been avoided if the driver could have been warned at least 0.5 seconds beforehand. So, in this context, vehicular add-on network, also known as the VANET, has been deployed in order to reduce the road accidents and also to ensure the safety of the passengers. So, VANET is actually the group of vehicles moving on stationary vehicles connected by a wireless network. So, for the problem statement, as I told earlier, a wide variety of deadly and non-deadly road accidents are increasing day by day. So, due to the advance in the IoT, automated systems in intelligence transport system are a possible solution for this problem. And since there is a relationship between the VANET and the autonomous driving system, so security of the VANET is also important. So the goal of our project is to detect speed-related security attacks in VANET. So speed-related security attacks include constant speed attacks. In constant speed attacks, the vehicles try to behave to move in a constant speed, even when they are moving in a varying speed. So what we are trying to do is, we are actually trying to identify a vehicle is attacker or not, and if the vehicle is identified as attacker, it will be removed from the network, or it will be given message to the other vehicles.
So I'll be continuing with the solution architecture. So this is a solution architecture that we have used for our project. So what we have tried here is we have tried to use artificial intelligence to identify vehicles which are attackers. So in VANETs or in vehicular ad hoc network, the vehicles exchange messages between them, which can help us to identify whether a particular vehicle is genuine or an attacker. So here, the messages which are exchanged between the vehicles are called as basic safety messages. So these messages contains information like speed, acceleration, what is the position of the vehicle. So we are using such information which is exchanged between the vehicles to identify using machine learning, we are using to identify whether a particular vehicle is an attacker or not. So as we can see here, we have two modules named data collection module and attack detection module. So in the data collection module, we take care of collecting the data which is required for our project. So in data collection, we have the data which is present in the basic safety message logs. We are extracting those data which is required for our project. And since it is in a JSON specific format, we take care of parsing it into a particular format which is required for our machine learning. So in attack detection module, we pre-process the data, clean the data, we do all the pre-analysis steps which is required for our building or training the model. So we are using ML classifiers, which is machine learning classifiers like supervised learning algorithms in which the data is labeled, and unsupervised machine learning algorithms in which we try to group the data. So here, based on the ML classifier, we identify whether a particular vehicle is an attacker or not. If a particular vehicle is found to be an attacker, the appropriate the roadside unit or the units which are controlling the vehicles can take care of having appropriate action, like either they can take care of giving an alert to the other vehicles which are participating in the network, or even if it is much dangerous, then they can take care of removing that particular vehicle from the network. So this is just a small glimpse of the different machine learning models which we have tried to implement. Machine learning models like KNN, logistic regression, naive Bayes, which gave us an accuracy of 70%, which we used as a baseline model to check with the other models which we implemented. We also tried to implement stacking ensemble machine learning model, in which we tried to combine the predictions or the machine learning from different algorithms, so, which give us a better rate of around 95%. We also tried unsupervised machine learning, in which the data is not labeled. So we have used isolation forest, which tries to analyze or try to find out the data points which are anomalies. So which gave us an accuracy of 70%, which needs more improvement. We also tried to use deep learning, which is based on the neural networks to identify the attackers. So we have used a combination of here CNN, the conventional neural network, and a set of LSTM to identify the attackers. So which gave us an accuracy of ranging from 97%. Overall, this is the set of accuracies or the metrics which we received. From this, we can see that the stacking model and the CNN LSTM gave us higher accuracy. So the machine learning models which we analyzed can be integrated to the roadside unit or other infrastructure which is facilitating the VANET. So this can be integrated with such a system, and they can identify whether a vehicle is an attacker or not. And this is very useful in the vehicular ad hoc network so that accidents and other traffic congestion, and it can also help to reduce the carbon dioxide emission, as we don't have to stop the vehicle unnecessarily because the VANET takes care of providing enough information to the other vehicles. Thank you.
So, first question is, what was the hardware architecture? How was the software deployed? So how did you deploy the software? What was the hardware architecture?
So these are machine learning models. So currently we have generated the models which is not yet deployed in an actual system. So the models which we have developed now, it needs to be integrated with the roadside units, which is the infrastructure which will be acting as a facilitator for the VANETs. So this has not yet been deployed in an actual system.
No, okay. And how did you collect the test data?
So
we actually got the data from one of our professors. So it's actually a simulated data. So from that, we actually trained the model by dividing the data set into like 20% of 20% for testing, and the remaining 80% for training. So that's what he did.
Thank you.
Good morning. What is a practical application of this technology that you've developed, or have you tested it out in some kind of practical setting?
So in a practical sense, we can see that currently in these years, we are relying a lot on self-driving cars or connected vehicles, we can say, where the vehicles are interconnected to each other. So we can use this model for such communication or such vehicles, so that they can interact to each other and also help, like, for example, I could say, like, we are traveling through an uncontrolled intersection where we don't have much visibility of the vehicles which are coming from the other side. So what we have to do is we have to be very much cautious about it. If we use such softwares, the vehicle can be alerted in advance about it. There is a vehicle which is coming ahead of us. So we can give more information about it. What happens is this software or the information is already being passed, that is already been there. But what happens is there can be attackers or hackers who try to attack or hack these messages which are being passed between the messages. For example, we worked on constant speed-based attacks, which says that like a vehicle is moving on constant speed even though it is not moving on constant speed. So the attackers can hack such messages and try to hack it and change the structure of it. It can change the position of it, it can change the speed of it, so they can play around with it, and the actual information is lost. This can lead to accidents and other danger situations.
Hello. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Just a question. So the data that you're collecting, is this something that aids drivers, or is this data collection that would help in, designing traffic flow, maybe increasing, monitoring of a particular area, perhaps more, stop signs, stop lights? Is that where we see this application going, or is it more so, protection for drivers for what you consider these attackers?
Yeah, it's mainly about the protection of the drivers and providing a friendly driving experience on the road. So in the vehicular ad hoc network, what happens is the vehicles which are participating in the network are connected by a wireless network, and they take care of exchanging information like position, at what position am I now, and at what speed I am running, and what is my acceleration. All such information will be passed across the vehicles. So these kind of information can be used to identify at what time this particular car can cross, or at what time this particular car can approach me. So is there any accident already happened? Is there any chance of traffic congestion? So such information is being used. What happens is, even though this information is being passed between the vehicles, there are hackers or they can manipulate these messages. So what we are trying is to find out whether this particular message is manipulated or hacked by someone. So we are trying to find out whether that particular message is genuine or an attacker one, so that we can take care of having appropriate actions, like we can take care of removing that particular vehicle from the network, or we can give an alert, this particular vehicle could be dangerous and the driver has to be a bit more cautious about it.
My daughter just received her license last night, so I would think that this application would be perfect for me to monitor her driving. So if you need some test samples to hand out, I'll certainly take one.
Sure. Thank you.
You can exit right here. All right, at this time, we're going to call up team number 4, Jamie, who's going to present on Mobile Trailer Boutique 70 Below treats. So it appears Jamie has brought some treats for the judges to see.
Does this mic work? Yeah, okay, sorry guys. Okay. So good morning, my name is Jamie Valance, and I'm currently in interior design, and I just completed my second year of the program. And this year, during the second year of studies, we learn about retail design. And during retail design, we got to create a mobile trailer boutique, which I'm going to inform you a little bit more information throughout the PowerPoint here. And retail design, this is a great opportunity for retailers to extend their product in a different way for new clientele, and if they have new products that they would like to show other viewers. It is great because it can be towed around to different fairs or different events. So it's coming to you rather than you going to the store or the event. For the mobile trailer boutique, I decided to do a store from my local town called Acton, which is called 70 Below. And 70 Below, most people don't know about it, but it sells freezer-dried foods, which the judges have a sample of. The food it's kind of like space food. So for the product, the inspiration for the product was through the company name. The company name is 70 Below. So as of right now, I'd like you all to envision yourself in a space I'm going to describe. So if you feel comfortable, I'd ask if you could close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Take another deep breath in. This time, breathe in cold air. When you start to feel yourself in the middle of winter, when you look around, the sky's overcast with the clouds. You start to feel the chills rise above your back. The temperature is starting to go below zero. Some might even start to feel as if it is 70 below. As we all are shivering in the winter, through the winter night, we can open our eyes and we start to come back to reality. As we take a moment to open our eyes, we can start to envision how the 70 below concept relates to the cold theme throughout the trailer. Here's the floor plan. It gives an overall view throughout the space and shows the flow. Now I'm going to show a walkthrough video which allows for a more experience and perspective view of the space. So as we walk through the space, you can start to see the flow and the displays that have been accessed easily for customers, as well as the lighting, which was inspired through icicles, the way it dangles down. And in the back wall here is the media wall, which allows for LED lights for a photo Insta wall. This is the ice cube display, which was inspired through ice cubes, and the ceiling detail, which is inspired through the glaciers. This is the view from behind the cash counter, and then we start to exit to the exterior deck, which is ADA accessible, which allows for a unified design. There's also a cash-out counter, which gives more options and variety for the customers if they would like. And here's a rendered view, which allows for a more realistic view of the trailer, which shows the ice cube display, as well as the media unit and the 70 below at the back where the cash-out counter is. The thermometer-inspired detail on the floor guides the guest to the back of the display. Here's the view from behind the cash counter, which shows a little bit of the exterior cash window, and as well as the display unit and the photo Insta wall with the LEDs in more of a realistic view. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
My question is, how is it powered?
How is it powered? Well, it would go to like a fair such as like the CNE or I don't know, like the Strawberry Festival here, so there would be power at the site, and then it hooks up through there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you cost out what it would take to, fabricate this unit, and so is this a practical design that for this business that they could actually afford within a budget that they may have?
I actually didn't cost out how much it was. The project was more of designing the structure and picking out the materials. I did not cost it. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi there. Very interesting design. I do appreciate all the detail you put into that. I just have a question based on size. What is the size of it, and is it transportable on a road?
So it is 8 feet 6 by 30 feet long. So it would hook up to a truck. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to call up group number 5, Trevor and Brianna, who are going to speak on transplant.
Here we are. Test. Thank you. Fantastic.
Oh,
I'll do it quick.
I don't know if mine works.
Bree, you need some.
Is it
some
possible to have two? I don't know.
Okay.
It's on.
It's on.
Do we have one or two?
No.
Is it?
Oh, there we are.
Sorry.
Perfect. Phenomenal. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Trevor Ramiri. I am a recently graduated student from the Landscape Horticulture program. Previously, I was a graduate of the Culinary Management program as well. Love lifelong learning here at St. Clair. And I'm actually returning in the fall 22 semester for the Honors Bachelor's degree in Business Administration in the Information and Communication Technology program. I'm the proud president of Enactus St. Clair College.
Hi, I'm Bree. I was also in the Landscape Horticulture program. I did also recently graduate. I'm also a member of Enactus here. I'm the project manager of Transplant, which we'll be talking about today.
Now, everyone, green spaces are in the heart of our communities. They not only directly impact where we live, but how we live. That critical interaction between ourselves and nature that is central to our physical, mental, and social well-being.
As our cities and neighborhoods continue to develop, we start to lose green space. So city planners are looking for more dynamic methods to incorporate nature back into our environments and combat climate change.
And we knew we could be part of that solution. Transplant is a budding social enterprise that looks to improve both residential and institutional landscapes by combining permaculture practices with modern landscape design.
Permaculture is defined by the use of strategies that develop ecosystems, so these areas will be more sustainable and self-efficient. Our teams of students go to these sites, assess them, and decide which strategies will be most effective.
First, we concentrate on the use of native plant species. By reintroducing these plants back into our neighborhoods, we not only promote biodiversity, but we support our local pollinators.
A lot of customers can't often imagine these native plants, so we decided to develop our catalog, which is a guide broken down into groups of perennials, ground covers, shrubs, and trees. That we can also present customers with groups of plants based on special interests like water conservation, pollinators, and even veggie gardens.
With this tool, we can not only guide customers through our design, but also show them just how much more impactful that these landscape designs can be.
It was also important for us to use plants with similar needs so we can conserve water. This is a technique called xeriscaping, which allows us to select plants for specific low watering needs, so no expensive irrigation systems are necessary.
On the other hand, we can also design landscapes so that they can soak up rainwater and also reduce runoff on a property. This kind of installation is called a rain garden, which leverages the use of water in our designs.
These approaches will not only highlight the overall beauty of these properties, but decrease maintenance and costs. This way, we're able to impact the actual watering volume and frequency, reduce the amount of maintenance needed, or chemicals used to deter pests and disease.
Students have been eager to integrate themselves directly into our project because it's an opportunity to utilize trades to actually support our communities. In addition, through both design and installation, they have full control and participation in the creative process of our projects.
This will also give them the opportunity to interact directly with customers, understand their needs, and assess what they need in the future to provide education.
In addition, because of our relationship with the St. Clair College Horticulture Program, we can actually source plants directly here from campus. In fact, in talking with our faculty, they've been really excited by the idea of introducing more native plant production directly into their curriculum.
We also have connections here with our Landscape Ontario Windsor Essex chapter and our local horticultural societies. They're excited not only to support the growth of this project, but support the students as well in their education.
And this year, our team received funding from the Hazelview Properties Sustainable Cities Project Accelerator, giving us the resources to make our Windsor Essex region more sustainable.
This program also helps support these businesses that we work with towards LEED and site certifications, which are nationally recognized rating systems that distinguish sustainable development across Canada.
In addition, with our installations, we will actually create educational resources through QR codes on our public installations. A user can scan this code and not only find out more about the species and pollinators that thrive there, but what the actual environmental impacts are of each of our designs.
Transplant secured several projects this summer, including 2 apartment buildings, and our designs will for sure make green space more interactive and accessible for these communities.
Over this summer, we plan to fully develop our revenue model, as well as create green jobs for students on campus, with a focus on the community integration through continuing education program here at St. Clair College.
In just 6 months, Transplant took the steps to create a greener campus and community.
Our team rescued 30 pounds of a local endangered species,
established 4 community partnerships,
and generate $2,500 in accelerator funding.
And we have a total of 23,527 square feet that will be converted to interactive green space.
Everyone, climate change is the greatest threat we currently face as a society.
And we here at Transplant Design, Install, and Maintenance Incorporated are dedicated to growing hope in the heart of our communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Question I have is, have you ever done, or is there an option for manufacturing plant rooftop type gardens? And what would that look like? And what would be the benefits of something like that?
Absolutely. So actually, we very recently, 2 weeks ago, had a conversation with someone literally about a living rooftop, because not only as well, the environmental offset, but also as a mental health space, place to take lunch, to breathe. So as far as we do ourselves, being recent graduates, we do have to interact more with industry insights from engineers to be able to get better perspective on those facilities. But it's an area we're definitely interested in pursuing, especially as we have a relationship. David Suzuki School has talked to us about their green roof in particular. And they'd really like to get our insights on not only how it can be a more sustainable space, but how we can promote more interaction in the curriculum for these students.
Thank you. I just have a quick question. If you've been involved or engaged with any municipalities or community gardens in terms of producing vegetables or any goods like that?
So we actually had the opportunity to participate in the Amherstburg Earth Day Community Garden launch. They reached out to us, and actually we have a meeting next Monday with the Youth Hub out in Amherstburg to discuss more programming and interaction there. In addition, we also, I believe it's May 31st, we're actually doing a seminar for the Amherstburg Horticultural Society. So as far as trying to really facilitate those relationships, and especially, I'm very inspired by the city of Windsor myself. I think there's so much opportunity in our urban core to facilitate more, because Windsor Essex is such a generous agricultural area that we can still support and highlight in our urban landscapes. Thank you.
Okay, hi. Thank you, guys. You mentioned that you have already done 2 apartment buildings, right? So what is your actual target market? Is there something specific you're targeting with this, or just in general anybody that will be interested in a green space?
At the moment, we're definitely targeting anyone with an interest in updating their landscapes with native plant species, especially for our apartment buildings in general. We have, obviously, not necessarily complaints, but the questions of how we can actually make the space more interactive for people in apartment buildings, because you can't necessarily have like a front lawn. So for our first partnership that we had with Hazelview Properties, we're actually installing a pollinator garden, which will be an actual central for the migrating monarch butterflies, but it's also created more of an alcove shape, so that way there's space for picnic tables and patios, so the actual residents of the building can still interact with the space.
Okay, one more question from mine.
Absolutely.
Have you considered working with the local garden centers to promote your idea with the summer coming around the corner?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, a challenge that we actually faced, and it was strange to have how are we going to get the plants as far as we were looking because with the native catalog, a lot it's more conventional. Hydrangeas, boxwoods, they're in everybody's lawns, but us being like, I need pale purple cone flowers, I need Echinacea purpurea, I need this volume of it. And going around to local garden centers and getting enough to justify, we actually had to explore creating our own green space, but we were very fortunate enough actually to find someone in Amherstburg that's dedicated entirely to native plants themselves. So they've been very excited to work with our team. And as well in the future, we'd love to actually also facilitate that sown and grown locally aspect to our business and have our own greenhouse as well to have those resources here. Thank you. Oh.
Really good presentation, thank you. My question is, did you guys take a look at the cost to do this compared to what a traditional landscaping company would charge? How does the pricing of this encourage people to go towards sustainability and local plants?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to bounce back to Hazelview. We actually had their budget from previous years where they gave us about $60,000 for it. And they said that it was for annuals that they put in every single year for multiple apartment buildings, which we knew we could cut down immensely, especially using native plants, which are perennial, that come back each year. There is no need to spend that much every year just to make apartment buildings look nice. So with using those perennials as well, when they come back, there's less maintenance and care needed for them since they're already established for this area. They're native, they know the climate, they're not affected very much by the bugs and pests that are here. So that again goes back to reducing the maintenance and costs or the chemicals used to actually keep the gardens looking nice.
Just really briefly, in addition as well, the utilities is also an aspect of the education that we provide. So for example, if we were working with someone where water conservation or runoff was a priority, we could actually project and estimate as far as how much water in comparison to a more conventional space that this design would leverage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more. Trevor, you mentioned a QR code in educating customers. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that QR code, how it works, and how it's incorporated in your project?
Absolutely. So as far as our QR code technology, so we're really trying to enforce it more. If I can imagine, the long placards that you see at parks giving, conventional history and information about the space. We wanted to see if we could make that a little more accessible for the current age, especially since QR literacy is improved due to COVID-19. So we'd have a wooden slab that's sublimated that has the QR code integrated in. Someone would be able to scan that on their device and be able to be taken directly to what is a private link. So we'll have several private links on our website for a specific property. So for example, our Riverside Hazelview property, we've got the pollinator gardens here. That web page would have highlighted, here's the coneflower, here's the yarrow, here's the milkweed, here's the specific butterflies that are highlighted. So that would be able, so through that QR code, someone scans in on their device, they're able to get all that information that might take up more space if we did a more conventional education tool. Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you so much to our first 5 teams. Great job. So we're going to take about a 10-minute break. So what we'll do is we'll come back around 11:05. There are refreshments here. There's all kinds of pop and juices and things behind the counter that Brittany will grab for you if you're interested. If you need to use the restroom, there are ones. If you turn right down the hallway, your first right, you'll see them just to the left of the bookstore. And there's also a set down your left past the doors by security. So let's reconvene at 11:05. Thank you so much, and good job, teams. All right, everyone, if I can have you return to your seats, and we're going to get the second session started. If Caitlin wants to make her way up, that would be great. I saw her there somewhere. There she is. Everybody set? Okay, so I'd like to welcome Caitlin. She is going to talk about addressing child literacy concerns in Windsor and Essex.
Hello, and thank you for coming to these presentations today. I'm Caitlin Masad, and I'm a student researcher for a Prosperous United Way and St. Clair College initiative addressing child literacy concerns in Windsor, Essex County through a place and equity-based cradle-to-career approach. Our team is made up of Early Childhood Education's Ontario certified teachers and Ontario certified social worker and research students. I'm coming from the Social Justice and Legal Studies program, and the other student is coming from the Early Childhood Education program. The team is working with community members to identify and target the unique factors that affect prosperous target neighborhoods. This project is not only first to Canada, but it is also St. Clair College's first social innovation grant, and it is leading the way in social science research at the college. The United Nations has said that a literate society is the only way forward for a just society, and considers it to be a basic human right. The current Ontario government has made literacy a key facet in their education program. Literacy is not simply reading and writing. It also aids in being computer literate, and it helps individuals develop one's knowledge and potential to fully participate in society. The team began collaborating on an applied research and development project in 2021 to improve child literacy. The goal is to develop, implement, and evaluate literacy-centered interventions based on the community's needs and successful evidence-based literacy models. As stated earlier, Windsor's Cradle-to-Career approach is the first of its kind to Canada. This approach is supporting Milestone 1 in the Prosperous Cradle-to-Career strategy, ensuring children are school-ready through a literacy lens. So essentially, it's starting investments for the future early. So you might be wondering, why literacy? Intervening to support literacy is a poverty reduction strategy. Literacy is highly correlated with poverty, as 46% of adult Canadians at the lowest literacy levels live in low-income households. Early literacy rates have continued to decline due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The literature also notes that poor reading in the primary grades is one of the most common characteristics of students who drop out of high school prior to completion. And on average, children from low socioeconomic status families enter high school with literacy skills 5 years behind their high-income counterparts. Focusing on Windsor, according to recent data, Windsor early literacy rates are well below provincial averages. So we are taking a community literacy approach. This opens up the possibilities of what can be accomplished as community partners work together, listen to each other, and it can show what happens when they take action together rather than apart. These are the priority neighborhoods as identified by Prosperous, and they are West and Downtown Windsor and Leamington. So taking a quick look at the maps above me, the orange areas were identified as highest in need. We also teamed up with the data analytics department and conducted asset mapping of priority neighborhoods. So through the site, one could click on a specified area and data collected on that area would pop up. We've also released 2 documents thus far. The first one there to the left is Literacy in Windsor Essex Literature Summary. So this is going over literacy in terms of what it is, how it is measured, and how Canadians compare to national standards and why it is important. And to the right is an overview of those neighborhoods as previously discussed with relevant statistics, as well as a summary of the schools within those areas and supports that residents can access. Along with working alongside community members through focus groups, we also collaborated with other community supports and services. So we conducted our own analysis, and when we met with these leaders of the initiatives, we discussed what worked and hadn't worked for their communities. Moving forward, we are working with our first international partner from the Oregon Social Learning Center. This is also first to Ontario. The program we will be implementing this summer is KITS, Kids in Transition to School. So this program, we will be preparing pre-kindergarten students for school through literacy and behavioral learning, as well as provide a program for parents to aid them in supporting their children's further success. Up here is a QR code you can scan for more information through your phone camera. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. So how do we get this type of information out to the parents? Because I noticed even on the map you had certain areas, but not all of Essex County as an example.
Yeah, for sure. So those maps were done by Prosperous, who is our partner in this group. And the way that they had designed those ones as the most in need for these for this specific initiative, they created a neighborhood opportunity index where they evaluated which neighborhoods were in most need through economics, employment, status of the households, income, and et cetera through that. And how we are planning on reaching out to these specific families are going through to the open houses for kindergarten students, especially for the program that we want to implement this summer, and as well as just doing outreach. So KIDS was done in Oregon first, and they what they had done was go through both their kindergarten open houses as well as going to different areas where the parents would be, at parks, at the laundromat, et cetera. So that is what we will be doing as well.
Good morning. So what is the interface between this organization and the children, the parents? Is it at some facility? Is it in their homes? Is it at the school? Where do you've identified how you identify them, but where do you reach them?
Okay, so in terms of the program that we'll be implementing this summer, yes, so we will have this program implemented in different facilities, whether that be at the school or we are also partnered with the City of Windsor, so if they will provide spaces for us there as well. So the families will bring their children, and also transportation is a factor that we will be implementing. Again, as we talk to parents, if they need their children to be bused in, we will figure that out further. So we plan on having the parents bring their children to these sessions weekly at specific facilities, whether that be at the schools, whichever ones are willing to participate, or whatever the City of Windsor is willing to provide.
So just a question that we shared together here. We're curious about the cost and availability and/or transportation. Is this funded, or is there a small fee, or?
Yeah, so for the families, it is free. So we will be funding, the main cost is going to be the first year. Obviously, the implementation is going to be the biggest cost. This will be going through training for teachers, training for students who will be doing this as a work integrated learning. And so we have a $50,000 research grant that will be funding the cost of the first year, and the cost will diminish for partners as the years go on. And hopefully, we hope there to be very little to no cost by the fourth year of implementation.
And what does the availability look like during this summer, the first year? How many kids are you looking to impact?
We're hoping about 25 to 30, about a classroom size. Again, all depending on how many parents are willing to go through with this process and how many we are able to reach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to call up Viral. He's going to do his presentation on autonomous mushroom harvesting.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Viral Makwana. I am a student researcher at St. Clair College, a student of electromechanical robotics engineering, as well as I am a part of Enactus. So, we all like to eat mushrooms, right? Mushrooms are grown in a dark fields where the humidity and lights are controlled. So, in the places where there is a very dark light, we get the best mushrooms, the best white-colored mushrooms. Hence, my project is an autonomous mushroom harvesting device. So our mission is to use an robotic arm, a vision system, and collaborate that for a robot harvesting of a mushroom. my main aim were described by the people who gave me this project. They required few of the things. The required for me is to have the mushroom picked. The mushroom should not be scratched. The mushroom should be always going to the bin after harvesting it. And they required approximately 15 to 20 kilos of the mushroom every hour being harvested as of a prototype. It will have a positive outcome for the community as well. So what we are seeing it as, people who are work at the greenhouses are always exposed to harsh environments. It can always be in like a replacement of people and work in the harsh conditions. The produce that would be harvested by the project would be always of a good quality, as it would be going through my vision sensors checklist, and it will be a consistent output, as it is an autonomous guided output which will be getting for the industry. The design and build. I have used an Overon TM5000 series robot, which is a collaborative robot, and it won't require any kind of barricades for the people to operate. The robot setup is also incorporated with the 3D vision. This one here is the 3D vision camera, which is an Overon camera, which I have integrated with the robotic arm. These two are the photos. One on the left is the tray in which I have 3D printed the mushrooms and used them as a prototype. On the right, we see is the output of the 3D vision, in which I have created 3 segments. One is for small mushrooms, one is for medium mushrooms, one is for large mushrooms. The vision system knows which one are the medium and large mushrooms, and it also has a color coding, hence it will only pick the mushrooms which are of the proper checklist. The weight of the mushrooms which are small are approximately 10 grams, the medium are 18 grams, the large are 23 grams, and there are some mutations in the mushrooms. So my robot is trained in a way, if there is a mutation in the mushroom, it won't pick it. This one is a robot gripper setup that I have right now for my gripper. Right now I am also working in collaboration with University of Windsor for an gripper output. So the University of Windsor is also going to give their input for the robotic arm. This is my gripper input working. This one is a demo image for the robot. So I have programmed it in such a way, with just one play button, the robot will go to the home position, and then the 3D vision system will have a photo captured. The photo will be displayed on the right hand side, and the robot will automatically go to the plum mushroom and pick it up. There would be a slight rotation which will make sure the robot has the mushroom picked up from the roots. And then it will go to the collection bin. I have used a cardboard box as the collection bin for now. Then it returns back to the home position and also repeats the cycle. This is a small set of mushrooms that I have placed randomly on the sheet. So as you can see, at first the robot will set the part, then it will orient the setup, then it will calibrate according to the depth of the field. Other than that, it will check 2 variables, that is width of the mushroom and the color of the mushroom. This is a testing unit. After setting the parameters, I tested the mushroom and I made sure the outrun is polished. I have on myself incorporated the safety vision for it. The safety is set for arms, as people won't be near the mushrooms, but if by any chance the robot arms collides with like a stationary object or a human, it will get the outputs to the robot and the procedures will stop at that time. These are the 4 safety segments that I have set. The first one is a robotic arm feed map. Other than that, I have a safe area design. Other than that, I have a work area design. The safe area design is the place in which the robot will work. In the working area, as we have a narrow spaces in the mushroom farms, the robot should be able to go to only in the narrow places. Hence, the working area is used. Other than that, it has a collision function. if it collides, the sensor will know it is a meta collision. I was able to successfully receive a grant of 25,000 by a private person who is funding this project, and I was also able to take it to the first step. The next step that I'm going to do is have a rail mount at their facility, and everything would be sponsored by them. My name is Viral Magwana, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. So my question is, your demo shows the robot arm picking up the mushrooms, and the mushrooms are sitting in a certain orientation, but they don't grow like that. So how does your application still detect the right size, shape, color when the mushrooms are growing in their natural way?
I was hoping for this question. When I met the people, they were precisely considered about the conditions in which they grow. So what I did was I calibrated the axis of the vision system according to the arm of my robot. Hence, it can easily detect the depth from the robot to the mushroom. Hence, the robot would not require any kind of other inputs, but it being in a place will know the distance between the mushroom and the bot. And my pre-described criteria will let the robot know if a mushroom is ready to pick or not. And it can, a set of tray can grow approximately 200 to 300 mushrooms on an average. That is the data they give us. So my robot can easily distinguish between every mushroom in that time.
I believe mushrooms grow in a dark environment, typically. So I was just curious, in your testing, did you test in a lighted environment or in dark conditions to simulate the growing process?
This is a cool question. What I did was, I had specifically called for a revision system which has incorporated lighting. So I would like to show you here. Once the vision system goes to the mushroom, you will see a flash. The flash will make sure that in the dark area, the tray is illuminated by the light and the mushroom will get a feedback.
Another question. So you talked about the benefits from a safety standpoint, but from an output standpoint, what is the rate at which the robot could pick mushrooms compared to a manual operation?
For now, the only thing that is limiting my robot is the ability to process the vision system. It can be easily overcome by a small module, which is also available in the market, and the ability of the product to run faster, I am only running it at 5% of its stated speed, as it was in a testing environment. I can take it out of the testing environment and I can run it at, I guess, so much faster speed, more than 5%. I have tested it for 90% and it works fine.
Okay, one more question for you. So I can see on the presentation there's a calibration target. So I assume this is a 2D vision system instead of 3D?
No, it's the camera is a 3D camera incorporated with 3D vision. And what I did was I did 3 markers, and the robot, it is a collaborative robot, hence it had the orientation inbuilt. So after the markers are set, it can know the difference between the ground to the TCP. And what I did was I had the coordinate system on the tool. So the tool is the robotic arm end. So the coordinates of the tool will always match the coordinates of my camera. Hence, it will always get an accurate reading.
So the calibration is used to calibrate the vision system to the robot?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. One more question related to how do you target the mushrooms? How do you know which mushrooms to pick? Typically, the mushroom farm will have hundreds and hundreds of mushrooms.
What I did was I went in the vision system. I take a blob tool. I also matched it with a pattern tool. So when the pattern of robot like mushroom is matched, oval pattern with my blob, I set the blob to accuracy of pixels. And after testing approximately 100 mushrooms, what I did was to have the base pixel density and then match it with the pattern, and that will give me very accurate results. Thank you.
All right, we're going to call up Team 8 now, Dylan and Saran from Revert.
Hello, everyone. Today we would like to introduce to the project that's called Revert. Revert is a smart innovation sensor system that is based on increasing the. I'm sorry. Give me one more. So Revert is based on a sensor system that increases the chances of recyclable materials. We think that the materials that we recycle are taken care of, but they're not in the bigger level. So we have created a system that could increase the chances of recycling more material and get good productivity of it. And also, I would like to introduce to the team of Revert.
Hey, so I'm Dylan Chowell. I'm a recent graduate of the Mobile Applications Development Program here at St. Clair. And I just want to say I'm thankful for being at St. Clair because I'm able to be a part of a group like Enactus, where we can be a part of a project like Revert, and to attend events like this where we can share knowledge and discuss ideas with like-minded people like you guys.
And my name is Sarhan Bhanwadia. I'm an electromechanical robotics student here at St. Clair College. I'm also involved in research and development here at the St. Clair College, and I'm also an active member at the Enactus St. Clair Club. And then we, as in a team, are working in the Revert project since 4 months.
So I'm going to talk about the problem with recycling. So usually when you recycle, you have your plastics and you have your paper, and once a week it goes away off your curb. But what most people don't know is recycling's biggest enemy, cross-contamination. So what cross-contamination is the amount of unrecyclable materials mixed in with recyclable materials. And if that percentage of cross-contamination, if that exceeds 10%, then everything, including the recyclable materials, is sent to a landfill. What's it called? A landfill, sorry. And this is what happens to 75% of Canada's recyclable waste.
And we've also got some statistics from the internet, and then you can see the contamination rates of the residential recycling. We could see that Toronto is leading the country for 26%, and Edmonton is at 24%, just behind Toronto. And then Vancouver, being a very large city, it's at 4.6%, so there's really good development for recycling in Vancouver, but there's a lot of progress to make in Ontario, as we can see in the chart.
So now you know the problem, and now we're going to introduce you to our solution.
Right, so this would be the the hardware system that detects the waste. We call it the Revert's waste detection system. We have used an ultrasonic sensor that has a range of 400 centimeters and an accuracy of 3 millimeters to get accurate results of the height, to measure the height, how much the bin is full or how much empty it is. We've also used a Raspberry Pi microprocessor to get everything together, get every data, and then get an output and also run the AI. We've also used a camera, a 5-megapixel camera to be precise, which gives clear images to us, and then we could run tests through it and then see if the added object is recyclable or is it a cross-contaminated object.
And so that's about Revert's hardware side, which is the sensor system. Now I'm going to talk about Revert's interface and data side. So once we get the images from our sensor, we would process it, and then we would compare the images with verified data. So that would be, if we got a picture of what the bin looked like, we can identify the unrecyclable parts, and then verify that if it actually is an unrecyclable part. And with that information, we can discover trends and patterns. And with those patterns, we can graph them and display them on an interface, like a user interface, which would be like a mobile app or a website that where you can access the data. So now we're going to go through Revert's roadmap. We started with our initial concept. It was mostly research and finding what materials we needed. Yeah.
Then the second step was sensor designing. So we went to different products. We searched for different cameras, different sensors to measure the height, to measure the weight. And then we came up with a good quality parts list. And then we made a good prototype in the second part of the project.
Next would be our interface design. So it would be wireframing, like a mock-up of the app. The front end, which would be the user interface, and then the back end, which would be the logic of the data and getting all the data organized and graphed out.
And then data collection would be the part that we are at right now. So we are collecting data from different bins, we have partnered with Devonshire Mall, and we're getting data from them that how people have trends in throwing waste away, how much people are aware of the waste, and then after collecting the data, we make a good, we can make and train the AI to get desired results.
Then after that, we're going to move on to our testing phase, where we're going to implement features, resolve issues, and then finally, we're going to move on to our controlled deployment. So once we're certain we have a decent prototype, we can deploy it to St. Clair at one of their bins, and then collect our data and move on from there. So some final remarks we have. Over the next year, we plan to fully develop our sensor system, fully develop our dashboard application, which is linked with the sensor system, make improvements based on feedbacks from our partners, and explore pilots within our community partnerships.
And we've always used this quote in Revert that we aim to make our shared efforts truly sustainable. Thank you for your time, and we would be open to any questions that you might have.
Thanks.
My question is, where would this system physically be located? Is this something that you would put on a recycled bin, or is there a certain spot you would bring the recycled material to?
Currently, we are on the phase of training garbage to the AI. And then after achieving that, we would be, like you said, we would be mounting it on a dustbin. And then we will have good lighting conditions. So we might use some lights. And then that would give an output to the user that it's using, that how much contamination it's present or not.
Would this, sorry, one more question. Would this also detect when people recycle water bottles that still have water in them, as an example? Because I know that that's been brought up when we've done some volunteer events as something that they can't take.
That's something actually, it's a good thing to consider now that you mention it, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
My question is, I know that we had discussed about dimensions and the accuracy of the dimensions, but was there something specific, maybe I'd missed it, based on material? How did we determine materials using the sensor? So whether it be glass or tin or paper?
It's based on the image. So like we as in the human know what the object is like on the way it looks, we could train the AI that this might be a cup of coffee, this might be a cup of water, or just objects in general.
So you're going to be training the artificial intelligence based on this is a picture, so...
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the question I have is related to the deep learning algorithms. So I assume you're using deep learning instead of AI, but are they running on the Raspberry Pi somehow? Or are you going to ship them to a server and then send the answers back?
So yes, all of the data is collected in real time and then is processed in the Raspberry Pi, and then it is sent wirelessly in the mobile app that we're about to develop in the future. So everything is integrated within the processor itself. Yes.
So the Raspberry Pi should have enough power to process the neural network? Or?
Yeah, we are planning to add lithium polymer batteries and then have backup batteries just to make sure that we don't run out of power. And then we also have like new versions of Raspberry Pi that are faster than the older versions, so we can always use them.
Okay, thank you.
You presented some data with some percentages in terms of some provinces do a better job at this than others. I was just curious, did you do any benchmarking of some of the, leaders in terms of recycling? Like I noticed St. John's, Vancouver, they were, much less. So any benchmarking, any lessons learned from those locations that helped in deriving this project?
No, nothing yet. No, not from those locations, no.
Hi, my question is, so once your technology detects the cross-contamination, what will happen after that? Does that get rejected? How does that whole system work? Or what's the thought process you have on how that could work?
If it's contaminated more than 10%, or maybe if it's near than 10%, the user will know that this product will be waste after, you will have certain amount of more contamination. So it's based on the user, so they can judge that if they need to throw it in the recycle or get just the results of the contamination rates. So we're getting percentage results right now.
So there's some kind of feedback to the user to say...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Here he comes. Next, we're going to have Vakis talk about the semester loadings tool.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Wakas and I'm here to present this project which is called Semester Loading. So I did this project under supervision of Jen Stipkowski and Professor John Ulakovic. So before I start this presentation, a little bit about myself. I have 12 years of experience as an application architect and some project management. Right now, I just graduated from St. Clair College. I did data analytics for business. And before that, I had a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. I am into full stack development, data analytics, and blockchain. All right, so let's get back to the project. So the need of this project starts when a new semester is going to begin. So somebody's tasked to plan that semester. And if you have ever worked in scheduling or staffing, you would understand that how tricky that can be, because there are over 200 faculty members, there are 250 courses in the Zickelman School, and every staff member have different availability, different alignments. So putting that together can be really tricky. So this is one of the example sheets. So Janice used to prepare 50 of these sheets to plan one semester. And like I said, there are hundreds of courses, hundreds of staff members, and their availability also changes. So once you prepare this, one professor can call you and say, oh, I'm not available anymore, or maybe this time or this day, not available in the morning, or I'm available in the evening. So it was actually an Excel hell. So many problems are there. Who can teach what? How many people are there? How many semesters? How many sections are going to be there? And what are the requirements for to teach each course from the resources perspective? What kind of classrooms they need? Do they need a projector in the class, and so on? But with the help of our semester loading application, this can be done in just 5 minutes. All right, so it is actually that easy now. With all the information already preloaded in the software database. So you just go and log into the application. You select the program. If all the information is preloaded for you, if you don't like it, you can change it. You click on the Get Courses. You select the semester terms of which you need to plan. You input the number of students, and you just click on Generate Learning Sheet. And just like that, the entire semester has been planned for you. The sections has been generated, number of components have been generated, classrooms have been assigned, and the best part is, it also gives you a optimized staff allocation, which can be tricky. So this is not an Excel macro. This is a full-blown, full stack application running on multiple labels and stacks of technologies. And one thing that we are really proud of is the resource optimization algorithm. It uses linear programming to give you the optimum number of resource utilization. There are other features in this application which you can use to manage the staff information, program information, courses. It also maintains the history. It allows you to export the data for further analysis. And the best part, in my opinion, about this project is it is out there in the production. It is working. It is being used by the Zickelman School of Business and Technology. I have some testimonials from the users. Chrissy thinks this program will be a game changer. Our chair of the school, Anthony, who has spent 20 years in the manufacturing industry, thinks that this can be easily modified to be used for staffing and scheduling operations in other industries as well. All right, so with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any other questions.
Hi, my question is, how much maintenance is required on the back end to keep it updated? Would seem if you don't have good control on that, then your outputs will be incorrect.
Yeah, definitely. You need to keep updated, but like I said, there are features and user interface available for that. So you can keep updated as you go, because you don't have to change everything in one go. So suddenly, if there is a new professor, you can add his information into the system. If somebody leaves, you can remove that information from the system. So you can keep updated as you go. So that's kind of a daily, day-to-day task, which doesn't happen very frequently. But you can add in new courses, you can add in new programs, we can give it to other schools as well. We're trying to, in future, we're hoping that they will also start using it.
So you touched upon adding in new teachers, new information. Is that something that the end user does, or would they have to contact yourself, to add it in there? Is this something that's easily done?
End users can do that. There are interfaces available for that.
Okay.
So the application development, I can see you architecting the system. Was the application development done by you, or? Who did the development of this application?
Yeah, I did.
Was it you?
Yeah, right.
Because you did the design and the development.
That's right.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, so we are down to our last team. So we had one of the individuals on this team was ill today, so Robert has agreed to perform on his own. So he's coming up to talk about East for you.
Good morning, everyone. Like Sue Taylor already said, unfortunately, my counterpart Blake is unable to attend, so that's just my luck. So as she already said, my name is Robert Bloomfield, and I'm a part of the Enactus Club here at St. Clair College. And for those of you who don't know what Enactus is, basically it's a big club that has other branches such as Interact, Revert, and East. So I'm beyond excited to present this project to you today. Before I begin, I'd like to ask anyone, if you've ever been a student or had an idea basically for a business but didn't have any of the financials or didn't have any of the support, well, basically that's what East does. So what is East? We're all about the youth. We want to develop the businesses that students have, as well as educate students on entrepreneurship inside and outside of the classroom, whether that's helping them brainstorm, create SWOT analyses, or help them further on outside of the education sector. So to begin, we resurrected East and created a workbook. Essentially, we're inside of classrooms and we're teaching a 6-week program that is created by East, which is a workbook. And this 6-week program brings students through brainstorming, idea generation, SWOT analysis, and this brings them to a pitch competition where they have to take a video and present their idea, their business idea. And at the end of this pitch competition, if they win, they get a financial sum, which would be around $5,000 for them to do their pitch. Currently, we're inside of 3 classrooms right now with agreements to continue next year. And then we have multiple opportunities to expand. Currently, we're transitioning our workbook into in French, ma langue maternelle c'est le français. So that way we can touch every single piece of, every single school inside of the Windsor Essex community. We already have agreements from L'Essor and La Jeunesse to go into their entrepreneurship programs and teach this 6-week program. That way we can serve, like I said, every school inside the Windsor Essex area. So what have we done so far? Last year, we facilitated over $7,600 in revenue generated for over 20 vendors, and this is all done at the downtown Windsor's Farmers Market. Essentially, what we're doing is sponsoring them, paying for their spot to be at the Farmers Market, as well as having tents with their logos on it. Our logo, East, is on it, as well as Enactus. And like I said, we resurrected the workbook. We've got the East initiative back up and running as it hasn't been before. So what do we have happening right now and into the future? This is what this slide I'm pretty excited about. So we're projected to make over $21,000 and facilitate $21,000 for our vendors this coming year. The biggest problem that we fixed from years before is Square Terminal. Essentially, people are coming to the downtown Windsor's Farmers Market and they're not able to pay what they want. It's cash only. What we've done is we've bought the Square Terminal. That way our vendors can use it. They can take Visa and MasterCard, and they can create a sale. The only downside of this is that Square Terminal, Visa, and MasterCard, they charge right around 4% per transaction. But the beauty of having the Square Terminal is that they offer $1,000, like an entrance fee. It's an incentive to buy Square Terminal, and that $1,000 continues to go from vendor to vendor until it's up, obviously. But that will pay for those 4% charges as of right now when it comes to using Visa and MasterCard. We have set mentors, like I said, sent mentors and agreements to stay inside of the classroom. We right now have 3 people. Trevor is one of them, myself, and the project manager, Blake, are inside of the classroom right now teaching this 6-week program. And then something that's huge that is coming in the next year is we're going to Art on the Park. Our local MP here in Windsor, Essex said, why the hell aren't you at Art in the Park? This is perfect for it, right? We're selling collars, we're selling these beautiful novelty items, why aren't we there? And basically what we said, it's too expensive. How can we pay for our vendors to go? Well, luckily he said, I'll foot the bill. So he's footing the bill for 30 feet of space at Art in the Park, which is going to give us room for 5 vendors, and a conservative projection is going to be over $4,000 within the weekend, which is going to bring our total up to $25,000 of a projected income, which is well over 3 times what we made last year. So we're really excited for the years to come. And I'd like to, all of our vendors would like to thank you so much. That's all I got.
Thank you, that was good. I just questioned, you said that you're in 3 classrooms. What age level is that?
We're in high school, currently at Holy Names,
Okay.
and we're sitting in grades 9 and 10.
Okay, and looking to be in high schools throughout the county? And
Yes,
okay.
yeah, we already have, like I said, we're going into bilingual, so that way we can serve as well La Salle and La Jeunesse.
Perfect, thank you.
I just have a question. Have you received any funding in order to, besides $1,000?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I'm sure we've seen it through Enactus as well. Libro has given us a fair amount of money. That way we can sponsor our vendors going forward, as well as obviously the local MP is sponsoring us. We really do, we go out and ask for help when we can, especially when our vendors and students need it. So it's really a first come, first serve. Not really is the right word, but if you ask, we'll find it for you.
I guess my question is, you mentioned being a mentor to these students.
Yep.
How long do you stay on as a mentor?
Yeah, so it's a 6-week program, but luckily we can run this program twice within the fiscal year of an actual classroom. So we can run it 2 times a semester, 4 times in one classroom. So we stay on basically as long as the high schools will let us, but we can touch as many classrooms as we can with only 3 mentors. So we're running, to answer your question, sorry, that was kind of a way of going around it, twice within a semester, so 4 times for the year.
You mentioned you had to revive the workbook. How much work was involved in, and what kind of changes had to be incorporated?
So what we're seeing throughout the Enactus program is we graduate, right? People move on, and the Enactus initiative was dead. There was no one coming back. What happened was we came on, and Trevor was a big part of this as well, the president of Enactus. We came on, resurrected it. Essentially, there was a workbook that was in the works, but we were never in classrooms, and if we were, it wasn't going well. So we had to rewrite the workbook, create a week-by-week initiative. That way kids are doing idea generation one week, brainstorming the next week, SWOT analysis is a marketing analysis that we can go forward, and that all leading up to the pitch competition. That way kids can put themselves in a position to succeed. That way they can get $5,000 in grants to actually start their business and do so. So a lot of work. Anything else?
Is this completely voluntary for the students, or is this a part of their curriculum? Is there any credits?
You mean voluntary on our behalf or on behalf of the school?
The schools that you're teaching and the students that you're teaching.
This counts towards a credit inside the school. So we're inside. Yeah. So inside of the skilled trades program, we are the 3 classrooms we're in are an entrepreneurial class, a business class, and actually a culinary class. And this lines up perfectly with the East initiative because entrepreneurship, action, and skilled trades. Essentially, the culinary class, if someone wanted to start a restaurant, I mean, they can come to us and we can help them with anything they need, either idea generation or how to run a business, such and such. And that way we can also connect them to St. Clair alumni who've been inside the culinary industry. It's more who you know than what you know, if that makes sense. We can connect them in any way possible. But when it comes to the classrooms in the high school, it does count towards their credit for a OSSD. Sweet, thank you.
All right, so that concludes all of our presentations. So I think our judges are going to have a difficult time choosing with some amazing presentations shown here today. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Noah Campbell of Touchless Inc. He's back there working our PowerPoints for all the students and rocking it. Noah was also responsible last year when we had to go online quickly. Noah took care of our tech for us that last year, so we had him come back this year and did a great job, of course. So before we break for lunch, we've got it all set up for you, but we're gonna take a moment to, I'm gonna ask Nick Dimitrov of AIS Technologies Group to come up and speak with you and share some insight for us on projects like this, working with the schools.
Ralph, can you hear me? Okay, good. Again, thanks everybody for coming. I have to say presentations were great. And as Sandy said there, you guys are all winners. They'll obviously be the best three, but excellent. I'm here today to talk about the importance of collaboration between the educational institutions and the industry. And as always, there are three parties involved. One is the education, second, the students, and three, the industry. The educational institution obviously has interest in learning what we need in the industry to further our business. So dealing with us, they'll find gaps in the curriculum and find ways to improve it. On the industry side, we have access, we are searching for access for new technologies, resources that we don't have specifically in the post-pandemic world. And additionally, the most important thing, the students are being prepared to enter the job market well prepared and most importantly, more competitive. The second thing that is of great importance is the factors that influence this collaboration. One of the biggest factors is the current economic climate. Again, being in a post-pandemic world, we have lots of challenges with supply management. New technologies needed to be developed to expedite certain things. Industry challenges are obviously very important. Currently, the things we deal with are labor shortage, cost of labor, new technologies that needs to be developed to address some of these challenges that we have. We find that being wrapped in our current challenges and work, we sometimes ignore the obvious. We would like to have opportunity to work with educational institutions like Central College to help us with that. Lastly, obviously very important, is the government contributions and generating the climate for collaboration between the two. Currently, there's lots of grants out there. This event is obviously sponsored, and obviously we have to take advantage of that. As I'm reflecting to what I just said, I am also trying to figure out, okay, why did we select it at AIS Technologies to work with St. Clair College? I've came up with 6 reasons, and I'll give you the explanation for that. First, the college has industry-relevant programs, programs that have been tweaked time and time with the people that we work here. I have a great experience to work with robotics and vision department, and I can attest to you that the amount of effort that people have put in this curriculum is tremendous. I have to mention several people I work with, Peter Warrow, John Lopez, Sean Davidson, Thomas Forget, and Al Douglas. The effort that you guys put into this, it's tremendous. It's not only that you equip with the proper knowledge, it's also the amount of effort you put to put the students first. Second, as I said, the educators have the capability to speak the industry knowledge. So we are very compatible when we discuss about our current challenges. You understand our needs, and you react very quickly. We cannot ignore the state-of-the-art facilities that you guys have put together, through hard work donations from many of the sponsors that you have seen here. That creates a great environment for the students to achieve their dreams. Further to that, we need to acknowledge that the needs of the industry and our society are changing on a daily basis. Challenges are changing, and the demand is obviously increasing. So the most important thing is to continue this collaboration on a event-by-event basis, day-by-day basis, and continue that effort. The R&D effort that the St. Clair College Group is putting is based on compassion and relationship that are based on success. As with everything else with business, the R&D has to show tangible benefits and results. So connecting to the right industry partners to achieve excellence and create some business value is very important. So far, we have been involved in 2 projects with this department, and the results are generating potential opportunity for us to go in the future. At the end, I have to say that the graduates that you guys have provided and we have employed in the past come well prepared. Our traditional learning curve for the new graduates typically come, let's say, 6 months. Our experience with specifically robotics and vision department is that we cut that curve to 3 months. So your graduates are ready to go in the business, deliver content to our business within 3 months. So that's 50% improvement. We at AIS Technologies Group are committed to developing and manufacturing systems that are based on robotics, vision systems, deep learning, and so forth. The knowledge that you have provided, it's an excellent jumping board that propels the students in the future. In closing, I have to say a few remarks. Thank you, Sandy, for your motivation again to get me involved with this. Susan, and I'm not sure where you are, but thanks for all the hours that you have put together to put these events to fruition. And to everybody else I worked with in the past, again, thank you, thank you. We will continue this relationship and move it forward. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate your words of wisdom as well as your involvement with St. Clair College as a long supporter and also as one of our platinum sponsors today. So thank you so much, Nick. I'd like to now bring up Tom Reber, who is the Windsor Site Operations Manager for Ford Motor Company. He's going to give us a few words on ethics for our students. So notice we've got topics going for you guys as the day goes along. So Tom, want to come up?
I jumped up those stairs. I was going to jump up here, but I promised. Ethics, or moral philosophy, is a branch of philosophy that involves systematizing, defending, and recommendation concepts of right and wrong behavior. The field of ethics, along with aesthetics, concerns matters of value. These fields comprise the branch of philosophy called axiology. 3 major areas of study within ethics recognized today are meta-ethics, normative ethics, and applied ethics. Sound interesting? No, it doesn't. No, it's not interesting to me. I don't really know who chose the topic, Beth. But it appears that I'm standing between you and a very nice lunch. And I'm not so sure that we're really that interested in ethics. Integrity, how about that? Let's talk about integrity. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Having integrity means that you live in accordance to your deepest values. You're honest with everyone, and you always keep your word. Integrity is a highly valued trait, especially in leaders. When you live with integrity, you're more likely to be considered for important positions, particularly in leadership and promotions. The magnificent 7 aspects of integrity: honesty, respect, generating trust, pride, responsibility, keeping promises, and helping others. The concepts of ethics and integrity go along similar lines, but yet have a very clear difference between those. Ethics can be defined as rules and regulations that have been formed to allow an individual to work in accordance to moral principles. Integrity can be defined as the quality of being honest and fair. This highlights that it is a personal choice. Ethics can be imposed on you, whether you agree or not. However, integrity cannot. It has to come from within. Live in accordance to your deepest values. Your values are the things that you believe are important in the way you live and work. We are all uniquely individuals. We all have our own values. Yes, I would offer those of us in this room probably have very similar values along the lines of hard work and education. That's evident in the projects that the students presented today. Some of these projects are really fantastic. But what is it about you that makes you different from everyone else? And do you even know how your uniqueness shapes you as an individual and your values? I've told this story a couple times, just a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in Allen Park, Michigan, just outside of Dearborn. My father, along with my uncles, spent his career at Ford Motor Company. Both of my parents were Catholic. They raised me Catholic, church every single Sunday, and 12 years of Catholic parochial school. My mother was a stereotypical stay-at-home housewife. Breakfast was on the table when we woke up. Dinner was on the table when Dad walked in the door, and between that time, she spent every minute cooking, baking, sewing, ironing, never really leaving the house. If you're familiar with maybe sitcoms from the 70s, our house was a lot like Leave It to Beaver, right? Very, very typical. I grew up in a house that was 1,200 square feet. 2 bedrooms in the back and 1 big room upstairs. It was me, my mother, my father, and my 6 sisters. Did I mention there was 1 bathroom in that house? Let that sink in for a minute. So my values, as you probably can imagine, are education, hard work, religion, faith, and family. These are values shaped by our biases. Influences in our lives that have caused us to feel or show inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. Some of these are conscious to us, some not. Some time ago, as the topic of gender equity came up in the workplace and became very important to us, I was approached by several of my female colleagues over a course of time. They gave me a similar message. They needed me to get involved. They said I was different. And they all came and talked to me about how I act, what I believe in, and what I wasn't doing. These are colleagues that didn't know my upbringing, didn't know my family, but they saw it in me as a person. Turns out that growing up with 6 sisters and supermom formed unconscious bias in me that I had never really exposed. Gender equity is one of my deepest values, yet I had not been doing anything about it. I humbly accepted their feedback and have since been a very active member of our Women of Ford Employee Resource Group and the leader of our Men as Allies subcommittee. What are your biases? What makes you unique? How have those shaped your values? And are you living in accordance with your deepest values, true integrity? I read a story recently about Warren Buffett and leadership. Warren Buffett's a billionaire investor, right? At Berkshire Hathaway and at an annual meeting, he was fielding questions from people in the audience. Along came a teenager who asked him for some advice. The question was, what advice would Buffett give to a young person looking to become successful? This was Buffett's response. It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you'll drift in that direction. Not a whole lot different than the advice your parents probably gave you and when they were trying to pick your friends, right? Anyways, the story goes on to say that one of the unquestionable behaviors in choosing the right person that is better than you is integrity. People operating with integrity can be trusted. You never have to worry about their actions or whether they're hiding anything from anyone. The article goes on to say, invest in relationships with honest and ethical people. Think of a classmate you feel that has the makings of long-term success, somebody that you would invest in their future. You would probably pick the one that you responded to best, one that has leadership qualities, the one who is able to get other people to carry out their interests. That would be the person who is generous, honest, and who gave credit to people for their own ideas. As you think about what classmate you would choose, take a moment to think about how they might see you. Who are you? What do you believe you can be or accomplish? If I was sitting in your chair as a student today, many years ago, those around me likely would have said that I'm a leader, and they would have based that probably on my student council positions in high school, my presidency of my fraternity in college. If they knew me well enough, they'd know that I was a hard worker, delivering papers before and after school since I was 12 years old, if anybody knows what delivering papers are anymore. Working 2 jobs in the summer, along with doing a lot of odd jobs that my neighbors had. They would not have called me the sharpest tool in the box. School was hard for me. I attended a small engineering school in Flint, Michigan called Kettering. At the time it was called GMI. It wasn't for a lack of trying. I used every resource I could get. I went to my professors. I went to tutor groups. I sought help from my smartest classmates. Conceptually, I understood the concepts, but math oftentimes was like a foreign language to me. With my grades, I doubt that any of my college classmates would have voted me the most likely to succeed. In fact, I clearly remember my classmates' reaction to a situation when Ford Motor Company came to recruit at my college. At the time, the automotive big three were the most sought-after jobs in engineering. Maybe not so much anymore, but still awesome jobs, right? Ford was only granting a limited number of interviews that day, and every student had wanted an interview. And so you had to go and you have to provide your resume in the morning, sit around, wait around, see if you get one of those coveted interview spots. And I told my fraternity brothers the day before, I told them, I'm going to get an interview tomorrow at Ford. And quite honestly, it became like the joke of the week in my fraternity. Reber thinks he's going to get an interview at Ford. They're never going to interview the guy that needs help on his schoolwork all the time, right? There's no chance you're going to get it. Well, what my friends didn't know was that I was from a Ford family. I dreamed of working for Ford my entire life, and my resume reflected my deepest values, my hard work, my leadership, the importance of family. Those values aligned to Ford's values. I got that interview, and I started working just a month after that. Turns out grades aren't the only important thing in your life, okay? Live in accordance to your deepest values and believe in yourself. So I'm going to take a page out of my good friend Sandy Ilievsky's speech. She says this all the time, and it's so appropriate. I am such a believer in this. She quotes Henry Ford as, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I thought I could. I planned I would work toward that goal, and I was right. Not long into my Ford career, I set myself a goal to become a plant manager. I worked hard. I was willing to take on the difficult assignments. Again, another piece of advice from Beth: don't ever be afraid to take on the hardest assignments. I was always eager to learn. I thought, I can. I believed in myself. I can eventually become a plant manager. The feedback I got from colleagues was pretty much the same feedback I got from my classmates. You're never going to become a plant manager, ever. You're no different than us. You're a schlep working as a process coach and being an engineer. You're never going to be a plant manager. The career path has been long and challenging, and quite honestly, it wasn't that long ago that my potential to become a plant manager was no different than all of the other experienced leaders that I had worked with. I understood the business. I was a good leader. I was a good problem solver. I worked hard, but so did so many other people in our company. Then things really started to change for me. Not only in my career, but in my personal life, thanks to feedback from those female colleagues. They exposed a bias in me, a value that I was not acting upon. I began to really understand the importance of people and relationships, just like Diane's speech. Reaching out, mentoring, that is such an important part of being a person that contributes to a company. It's such an important part of leadership. I started actively getting involved and leading people activities, employee resource groups, our new hire groups of FCGs, and even in our recruiting efforts. That was really a turning point for me, from being a hardworking, experienced leader to being a recognized leader with honesty, respect, generating trust, pride, responsibility, keeping promises, helping others, all of the aspects of integrity. I achieved my goal a few years ago, being named plant manager of Dearborn Engine Plant, and today I'm the operations manager for the Windsor site, which is comprised of the Essex Engine Plant and the Windsor Engine Plant. So, believe in yourself. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And have integrity. Live in accordance to your deepest values. My sincerest apologies if you were looking forward to a discussion on ethics. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, so much. I guess next year we'll let him pick his own topic, maybe. But I think he nailed it still. All right, everybody, it is time for lunch. So please enjoy a meal catered by Capri Pizza and sponsored by the Stephanie and Barry Zuckelman Foundation. So our judges, you're going to head to the Genesis Center just down the hall, and where they're going to deliberate our award winners for today. We have a lot of prizes. We didn't really announce what they are individually, but we're giving away around $10,000 in cash and prizes today for everybody. So those of you who are watching on our live stream, you can check back in when we announce our winners. I'm going to say just after 1:30. And for those of you attending in person, which we're very excited to be able to actually host an in-person event. I know it's probably the first one for many of you. So please take advantage of lunch hour and taking that time to network with all of the other people attending the event. And we will come back around 1 o'clock to start the speed mentoring. And so if you are listed as a mentor, we would have told you ahead of time if you are a mentor, but it's listed on your name tag if you're not. That will be occurring out in the food court, but we'll make the announcement here and the instruction on how that's going to work. And anyway, we'll be back, and enjoy your lunch. All right, everybody, welcome back. So I don't know if you got an opportunity, for those of you who didn't participate in it. I think our speed mentoring session went very well. I wish we could have had more time to get those students talking. It's like our speed dating with speed mentoring. So essentially what we're going to do later is, if you didn't get a chance to talk to somebody that you really wanted to, we are going to stick around. We've got almost 90 minutes of networking, more food for you, and we're going to hope that you're going to stick around and reach out and talk to those students and get to know them. They were instructed to bring their resumes, and if they don't, they will connect with you. If you have a business card, they can send it to you if you're interested as well. So, all right, I had a thing that we're going to call the judges to the stage, but we already brought them on stage now. So we're going to do this in order. So each of these judges is going to present one of the winners. So I'm going to first call up Emilio from Ford, who's going to announce the Air Canada Award.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. So today I have the privilege of announcing the first winner, but before I do so, I would like to thank St. Clair College and all of the staff and faculty here today. Fantastic job, great facility. Like I said, I don't come here often, but when I do, I'm always impressed with the changes, constant changes that are happening here at the school and the campus, so congratulations to that. Of course, I want to thank the students, right? Without the students, this could not be possible. Every single project we heard today was a winner. So, as we heard many times, throughout all of the speeches today, it really is about the students, and like I said, truthfully, you are all winners. For the number one award today, the number one prize, Air Canada Take Flight Award has donated a $500 flight voucher to the first winner, Jamie Vallis, Mobile Trailer Boutique. Congratulations, Jamie. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Get a picture. Fantastic. Congratulations, Jamie. All right, so next I'm going to call up Barry Levitt from Enwin Utilities to present the Enwin Future Leaders Award.
Thanks, everyone. Enwin is thrilled to be associated with an organization of this caliber and the people of this caliber. So I won't repeat Emilio's comments. Very impressive, and we're just thrilled to be able to participate in this. Enwin's Future Leader Award was given to Team Interact, Bethany Delamonte. Please come up.
So Bethany is going to win a $500 cash prize. All right, so our next award is the Saints Nation Award, courtesy of our Alumni Association. So I'm going to ask Barry to come up and present that. John? Or sorry, John. Barry with his left. I'm looking at his name.
All right. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Susan. Okay. I am very honored to be here today and to be a sponsor of the event from the Alumni Association. Again, everybody that participated today, great job. I'm looking for thank you. You took it. The award I'm giving is the Alumni Saints Nation Award, and it is a $750 cash prize, and it's going to our 10th presenter today, Team East, Robert.
All right, and next we have Nick Dimitrov, who's going to give the AIS Agile Award for Excellence in Automation.
Thank you again, Susan. Students, excellent work. We've seen demonstration of innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership, all the elements that embody this event. This thing wouldn't happen without a great institution that fosters this type of behavior. Again, thanks for your participation and input. The AIS Agile Award of Excellence goes to team number 1, which is the AMR and the UR robot integration.
She's already here. Look it. I'm going to call up Nina to announce our third place winner. So we're down to our top 3 prizes. So
thank you for having me today. I really appreciate all the hard work that all of the students put into your presentations and your projects. So thank you. So I would like to announce the third place winner for our Innovation Showcase Award. This award comes with a cash prize of $1,750 and a tour of Reko International. And this year's winner is Vero Makawana for autonomous mushroom harvesting.
just right here in front. She'll come. Okay, so just to recap, so Air Canada Award, Jamie won a $500 flight voucher. For the Enwin Award, it was a $500 cash prize for Interact, $750 to Robert for the East presentation, and the AIS Award was $1,000. We've just given away $1,750. And our next prize is going to be second place, which is going to be for $2,000, and I'll have Elizabeth come up and present that.
So all of the teams did so well, in fact, that this was a really tough decision for us to make. In second place for this year's Forward Innovation Showcase is Transplant. Congratulations, Trevor and Brianna. Yes, so in addition to the cash prize, we are also giving out Ford jackets and a tour of the Ford facility for second place as well as first place.
Give them to either and then I'll show them. Okay.
All right, so this is the big moment. We're going to announce our first place winner, and I'm going to call upon our the fabulous Sandy Ilievsky to announce the winner of our first place prize.
So I echo everything that the judges said prior to me. Thank you very much. It was an honor for all of us. To all of you students, you're all winners in my book. I was very impressed with everything we saw. But I'm here right now to give away the first prize, which is $2,500, plus a tour of the Ford plant and Ford jacket. It is the Rising Star Award. And that goes to Mohammed Vakis Semester Loading Tool.
It's amazing. This is the part that I love because it makes all this work that we put into it worth it, watching them receive their prizes. So congratulations to all of our winners. I'd also like to thank our judges. That was a very difficult task you had deciding on those winners. For those of that who won a cash prize, I will contact you in the next week or so. I do have to have checks issued for you because we didn't know who they were going to be going to. So we'll take care of that. So I'll be in touch. So the next thing I would like to do is invite, I hope he's here, our Vice President of College Communications and Community Relations at St. Clair College, John Fairley. Oh, there he is.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very used to clearing the room, but I've never cleared a stage before. But anyways, thank you. Thank you for being here. First off, Sue, thank you for all your work. Sue Taylor, everybody. There you go. You know, if you look back at the times that you were a student and fill in the blank of you're in high school or public school, university or college, or training anywhere else, you knew what it was like. You know, I've got to study, I've got to do this, we got to go to class and do the tests and study and remember what you've got to do and what you got to say, and you got to memorize and everything like this. When we look and reflect on today, it has proven what we say over and over and over and over and over and over again. St. Clair College is a living classroom. Today, these groups of students have proven to you that it's not just all up here. It's being able to communicate. It's the skills of presenting. It's the skills of interpersonal relationship. It's being able to be one-on-one mentoring moments. It's being able to represent us as a college. And St. Clair College, we're proud to be a community college because when you're a community college, you have community partners like we've met today. We have community partners that we see as sponsors. We have community partners who are taking our students in placement. We have community partners who are part of our program advisory committees, who are making sure, as was said earlier in the speeches, who said they are teaching the most up-to-date. They are getting information to make sure that they are teaching the most up-to-date and what is needed. We are so pleased to have an event like this because I know it's a Ford showcase, but if nothing else, let us take a little bit of, it's also a St. Clair College showcase. And when we look at what we're doing this coming September, and we open our doors again for people first years and applying now and saying, what do I do? Do I do this or I do that? I want to take this, but can you see this before? To know that these people are what we call job ready. Job ready. These 10 groups, these multiple students, and trust me, on many floors at this location downtown on our Chatham campus, when they're climbing up power line poles and they're over doing sonography and they're doing ultrasounds and they're learning in sim labs and they're making molds and doing carpentry and they're doing electrical work in our Center for Innovation and Production. They're doing things in our Ford Center. They're putting together, they're doing the marketing, the presentation, the enactances. Job ready. So get ready, Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, Ontario, Canada, and the world, because you've seen today just a highlight of what we've got going on. We say Saints Nation. We're proud to be Saints Nation. As remember, if in City TV in Toronto, you say, City TV everywhere. And we say the same thing when we talk about our alumni. When I speak at Rotary clubs and different banquets and everything, I said, you know what? If everyone who went to St. Clair College, you business leaders, if they all stay home tomorrow, who's going to be running your place? You're going to realize that St. Clair College alumni are in the back, are in the shop, are owners, managers, doers, making it happen where they are. So thank you. Thank you, Ford. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you for being part of our story. And guess what? We're just getting started. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.
All right, thank you so much, John. So we do have one additional award that we are going to present for the first time this year. Part of this all coming to fruition is our faculty working one-on-one with these students, whether that's in the classroom, on an R&D project. They are making this happen. So we have a special award that we're going to give out, and it is called the St. Clair College Rise Above Faculty Recognition Award. So I'd like to call Ralph Nicoletti to the stage to make that presentation.
So first of all, I'd like to also extend my thanks and gratitude to Ford, AIS, the alumni, all of our sponsors. We really appreciate you taking time and resources to be here with us. Students, congratulations. Every one of you have made us proud today, and so we applaud you once more. Before I present this award, I just want to give a shout out to one of our friends and colleagues who is not able to be with us today, Jim Marsh. And Jim had a lot to do with the Enactus Club over the years. And so we are just thinking of you today, Jim, during this event. We know that success is not something that anyone can do alone. And students, you, as I said, you guys have done excellent today. But there's a whole team behind you. We know that staff and faculty that have been very dedicated, very loyal, very hardworking, very supportive of you throughout your time here. And there are so many that we could have given an award to. Unfortunately, we only have one award to give. But I'd like to give a real round of applause to all our staff and faculty, because you have been a big part of this today. Just curious for our guests, can staff and faculty just raise your hand? Okay. Thank you again. So we would like to, again, say thank you to all of our staff and our faculty. We know that one person has risen above, and we'd like to give our first Faculty Staff Award to Mike Spadato. I'll be right there, Mike. we are going to give Mike a little token of our appreciation, and again, thanks to Ford for giving him a Ford jacket as well. Thank you.
You've seen many of our Enactus projects here today, so and they are always looking for sponsorship. So if any of your companies are interested, I'm going to put a plug in for that. We do work with them closely. It does take a lot for these students to put these projects together. A lot of funding. They compete in competitions nationally and come home with prizes for them all the time. So anyway, thank you, Mike, for your dedication to that team. And I'm going to have Ralph come back up again. We have a couple more things to present. And then we'll start our networking.
So I would be remiss if I don't say personally a thank you to Sue and her team for the work that they've done. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to say, except there's not a lot of words to say. Sandy and Elizabeth, you guys have been tremendous partners. I kind of feel like we're related. You know, Italians are related to everybody, so I figure somewhere along the line we're related. But we feel comfortable with you. I hope you feel comfortable with us. We get to discuss. We change our minds. We go back to an original plan. We change our minds, but we have fun doing it. You guys have been so professional. You have represented your company, Ford Motor Company, as the professionals that you are. They should be proud of you because we're proud of you. And to say thank you for your support and your efforts is not enough, but I'm going to say thank you. So if you just want to come up, we'll give you a token of our appreciation for you.
All right, thank you so much. So I just wanted to, in closing, again, thank Ford Motor Company and our other participants here today from the industry side. So Ford Motor Company, AIS Technologies Group, Enwin Utilities, DataRealm, Laser Transport, St. Clair College Alumni Association, Reko International Group, Parent and Associates Consultants, Wave Direct, Invest Windsor Essex, the Windsor Port Authority, UpCare, and of course our team from St. Clair College. So we sincerely appreciate you taking the time. It's a long day to leave your jobs. You're very busy, and so we respect how much that takes for you to come out and join us here today. So not only did our students do a fantastic job, but our mentors and our judges, if you saw just some of the interactions going on and listening to that out there, it was amazing today. So that's kind of what it's all about. So the St. Clair Center for the Arts has delivered more food, so we have more appetizers available to you. So please make sure that you partake in that. Judges and mentors, we do have a little something for you as well. So make sure before you leave, I know some of you have to get back to work, please come see me beforehand. And also each of our student participants, we've got some gift bags here lined up with you with some fantastic things in there. And many of our participants today brought items to add to that. So you got some company swag from some of the teams that came out today, some gift cards, and you got an Amazon Echo, all kinds of cool stuff in there. So make sure you come see me for that. But I hope that you will all come back and join us next year for our 3rd annual Ford Innovation event. It was nice to be able to do this in person, and we're very happy that you could join us today. So I want to wish you all a fabulous summer and enjoy our networking portion, and make sure you talk to as many people as you can today. So thank you so much.